And we're going.
Bloobity.
Bloobity?
Bloobity bloobity.
Say go.
From a classic movie called Good Burger. Wait, remember that movie? Keenan and Kel.
Never seen it. So
Ah, you're gonna have to see it.
do I?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ah.
We'll see.
Yay.
It's just too much time. There's not enough time in the world to see a million obscure and not fantastic 90s comedies. Ziggy.
It is fantastic. It's like Jingle All the Way.
That's a Stone Cold classic, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, what is this?
Background music. So you talk bollocks. There we go.
Well, Seymour,
Hopefully that's not too bad. But yeah, how are you, Zig? What are you doing, my buddy?
I'm doing okay. Still getting over that cold. Apart from that, I'm doing alright.
That's it, Ziggy's been unwell.
coming out of your oven.
He had such a bad cold he couldn't even video games.
No, so crippling. I was on the ground trying to phone Matt. I couldn't.
Thank fuck, and I've been
Oh, Matt, no.
Man flu.
Nice. You would have been beautiful, right?
Call them steamed ham, just right next there.
You don't know me very well.
Ah.
What am I supposed to do for you if you're in that state anyway? What exactly can I do?
Get me better or something.
Happening in there? Aurora Borealis.
The,
At this time of year, at
so you
this
didn't get
time
too
of
much.
day, localized and
What do you do with yourself then, mate? What do you do?
Mostly napping and making medicines and blowing my nose, coughing and
It's just
stuff.
the Northern Lights.
Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say, my good hand.
You don't take colds very well, do you?
This is why I'm very adamant about not catching him.
That's very stereotypical man style.
Very stereotypical.
I've got a snotty nose.
Oh, but I also got a hacking cough and sneezes. Oh,
Oh, what was you? Brr. No, but I'm glad you're hearing this. I'm taking the piss, but it's nice. Yeah, that's very good.
It's
Well, it set me sound my Todd being not terribly funny again.
Oh.
No, man, nobody wants that.
oh, you're hilarious, Matt.
Oh, so stop. Ziggy.
Yes, you are.
I'm alright. It's more fun when it's both of us. So.
Ah.
More fun when it's both of us. It's more laugh that way, then. Yesterday I spent most of my day arguing with a friend about Jordan Peterson.
What? Why are you and your friends? I'm starting to think they're not quite friends.
Well, I'm just quite a confrontational person when it comes to certain things.
I mean, either that or your friends are somehow have a lot of skewed opinions.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of friends of a wide range of feelings and emotions and opinions. I'm fortunate to be blessed in that respect, you know, because it does mean I try to engage with other ideas and other sort of feelings about the world, you know. But it does mean I get into some very frustrating conversations with people. God, it's getting too loud now.
I was just building up to your example, Matt.
Well, like Jordan Peterson says things like, oh, why don't we ban makeup from the workplace? Because that will help prevent sexual harassment, because women are sexualizing themselves.
What?
So we should ban makeup. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, well, why should we make women change their lifestyles to prevent shitty men from being shitty? And isn't that kind of putting some of the blame on women?
Exactly.
Oh, you were wearing makeup, so what did you expect? You know, men can't control themselves when you wear a bit of lippy.
The eyeshadow, oh, make us weaker than these. Ain't that right?
I think it shows a very poor opinion of men. If you think, oh, if you wear a bit of lipstick, what do you expect men to do? It's like, well, restrain themselves? I mean...
Just kind of putting them down.
That's how I feel, that's how I feel. But my mate's like, nah, Jordan Peterson's a genius. He's making us think in new ways. Why don't we think
New
about
ways?
banning
Don't
makeup?
these feel like old ways?
Well, the problem is Peterson has a way of speaking that makes him sound like... He's an intellectual, to be fair. He is a psychology... He is a psychology lecturer. He works at university, so he sounds like an intellectual. And in psychology, I think he has some good things to say. And he's also done self-help books that are actually quite good. In in a basic way, like you know, clean your room, don't lie, that sort of bullshit advice. He's become very famous. Well, this is it. He's become very famous giving pretty standard advice, to be honest. But when it comes to social issues and shit like that, he's off his mind. He has no idea what he's talking about. But because he sounds smart and he looks smart and he's in the university, people are duped by it, I feel. All this is my opinion. I might be completely wrong, but I think my left-wing friend has really taken to him, and my really left-wing Jeremy Corbyn supporting friend is into a bloke with really right-wing shit opinions about stuff. You know, so. Anyway, so I'm ranting at you now. Sorry, I spent all day texting that man. It's made me really fucking edgy now. So.
Edgelord.
He's an edgelord. He's like, now women should stop wearing makeup and tempting men into doing bad things. Fuck off.
Someone say something like women shouldn't wear scantily clad clothing because it's the same reason, but not in the workplace, but it will decrease, you know, assault if they wear sensible clothing. Not so sure who said it, but it was said.
It's out there from a lot of people. A lot of YouTubers say that sort of shit. Yeah, it's victim blaming. It's like, oh well, you were dressed like a slut, so what did you expect? And it's like, well, no. It makes you think, oh, men just can't control themselves. The minute they see a bit of cleavage, you know, they're going to do something, you know, the worst thing, the absolute worst thing. It's like, no. It's not about how women dress, it's about what men have been taught is acceptable. Yeah. You know, you can slap a girl on the ass and, you know, boys will be boys.
With their consent, though. We never condone, you know, randomly slap women on the buttocks unless they are okay with it.
Well, that's what the new rule is, but people are like, oh, you cuck, mangina, pussy. Like, oh god, no, you should just slap the ass, you know, that's what men do, that's what men have done for years. Why can't we keep doing that? Like,
because times are changing, you gotta change for the better.
Some people can't
Come on!
And some people don't get it, they really don't get it, so, there is that. That's my frustration.
We may be
anyway.
cucks, but we're...
socially... what's the word? Socially aware?
Yes.
I think it takes a phenomenal amount of lack of social awareness to think that's okay in this day and age.
That's it.
I really do. Anyway, that's my little rant over. Ziggy really wanted to play Senran Kagura today. The game where you punch people and they get naked.
Punch? Okay.
All other things, you know, shoot people, all sorts. Generally hit people with things until they get naked, but I can't do it anymore. I've played like 7 or 8 hours of that game, and it's not good in the end, I'm sorry. The combat is solid. The story is absolute bullshit.
Oh man.
It goes absolutely nowhere. And it's not even so bad, it's funny. After a while it just becomes dull, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. But Ziggy's going to do a solo stream.
Woo! On Senran Kagura.
He's going to steal my PSN thing, download the game and give it a play for you all, give it his opinion as well. And maybe it'll be completely different from mine. But
I'll be like that one guy, never-ending story riding the track, and you know, have a whale of a time. Good time to be had by all. I forget the main character's name.
That's okay, it's more just that Freudian idea of riding a giant serpentine dragon in the sky.
Yeah, except it's a giant serpent of Senran Kagura.
Weird implications there. Let's not ask Freud what that means.
I'm sure he'd be okay with it.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
So you got that to look forward to the next week or so, I hope. If you
That's right.
Also on Tuesday we're going to do the Little Witch Academia game.
Oh.
If you're still up for that, if you want to come around to do that would be very good.
And I hear coming soon, Dragon's Crown will be on the PS4, Matt.
Oh, great.
Yes.
We could play that, I guess.
We'll definitely play it.
At least that's a good game.
I did tell you that.
You did, but it's got tits up the wazoo, so no one in their right mind wants to play it.
Not just boobs, and that's only for one character. I'll never forget the legendary Amazoness. That ass.
See, Zig is obsessed with this Amazon character.
I'm obsessed with that ass, and that ass is something to behold.
She looks like her back is broken. Like, no one has that posture that does that. That's not normal. It's not right.
That's why it's in Dragon's Crown.
Indeed. Right, okay, let's check the stream is actually working. I haven't done that yet. Sorry for the break, hold on, let's see. Yeah, that's working. That's
perfect.
Good. It's working. Marvellous. That's always good, isn't it? I'm half convinced it's going to be... After the experience we had with Extravaganza, I'm really paranoid about us sitting here for 2 hours and doing something and it being gash again, so...
Well, that won't happen.
I hope not.
You're wearing your Lucky Daffy Duck hat.
Look like a fucking idiot. Might take it off in a minute.
No!
I
Keep it
feel like a
on.
doof.
No!
I look like a doof. I look fat today. I'm really fat.
Really? You're gonna be one of those types?
I am one of those types.
No.
I'm both vain and insecure, so of course
You're not fat. Okay?
I'm a little bit.
No.
Alex at work called me pregnant. I was very unimpressed.
Who said this?
He's a
They
dick.
will pay.
He's very mean. Well, we have this banter relationship anyway. I don't think he really meant it.
Oh.
It's sensitive after that.
Oh.
Alright, let's play the game anyway. Let's actually do this. We've wobbled on possibly a bit too long. How long have we been wobbling?
We've been rambling for a second.
That's okay. That's okay. So, today we're playing a case of distrust. Oh, I've left Vulcan's skull on. Hold on. Stop it! There we go.
Ah.
Let's kill that.
No, you can't kill it.
Can I
There
did.
we
I
go.
shall.
The fly just zoomed past our faces
That
there.
wasn't a bee, was it? Fuck.
Hope not.
Oh god, no,
Just
I
a
don't.
regular old fly.
I don't do bees. Not the bees.
Ah!
Ah! Oh
Oh.
no, I did the thing. I'm
Yes,
sorry, I
you
did the
did.
thing. I apologise.
Please send your likes his way for doing the thing.
No. No likes for me. I don't deserve the likes. Anyway,
Ooh.
case of distrust.
Well, what have you heard about this case of distrust?
I think literally a photo of it came up on Twitter and I went, wow, that's got a really weird art style. I love it. I want to play that. I think it's a point and click type kind of mystery game.
Ooh.
Like just hearing this music, I want to light a cigarette and
But you can't do that, man. No
rant
smoking.
to myself.
Not coffee.
I can totally smoke. You can't stop me, I'm not my dad.
So I am the police chief, okay?
Now you said that, I'm going to
You're-
roll 3 cigarettes and smoke them at once.
No!
Triple cancer.
Just like all the best detectives.
Oh yeah, I got stood at the standby window and be like, oh, this child gets the best of you.
Oh no.
I've been here for 600 years.
Oh
It
no.
never changes.
No.
Time and again.
Oh man,
That's
you're
what it's about, isn't it? I want to be noir. Like ever since I saw like Roger Rabbit as a kid, I love the style of these sorts of films. It's cool. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yep. Baby's first noir film.
Hell yeah, you know.
One of the best.
The lead character is a fucking alcoholic.
Exactly.
The most sexualized Disney kind of heroine, and the most ambiguous heroine. You know, like is she good? Is she bad? Is she good? Is she... Like Jessica Rabbit. You know, as much as I am a feminist cuck, SJW, Jessica Rabbit is a cool character.
Would you slap her on the derriere if you could?
Only if she approved and she wanted it. I don't know.
That was the secret right answer.
She's a cartoon as well. There is that.
Doesn't matter. Well, I think that introduced a lot of young folks to the concept of sexy cartoon characters.
Oh Jesus, that's why I'm so fucked up. That explains.
Well, that and Space Jam and all the 90s cartoons.
All that
It's,
stuff.
it's just a steady path. That
It's quite fun today. Every time you make a point, you're going to choke halfway through. Aren't you?
Yes.
It's going to be interesting. Okay.
It's as if my own body's telling me to stop.
Damn it, Ziggs. Damn it. Alright, let's do this then. Come on in. Let's see what this is about. Very excited. I literally don't know what to expect. So.
Is this one of those James Bond intros? Oh no. I awoke in my desk chair. Not pointing.
pointy
You're clicking. You're failing the whole concept.
Oh, I
Across from me were his piercing amber eyes. They surprised me at first, but I should have known he'd be there.
Okay, right, okay.
I stretched and said, mid-yawn, not very nice to sneak into a sleeping woman's apartment, but his stare just continued. Oh. Looks like we got a choice.
Should we laugh at him or curse the open window?
I think we should laugh.
Yeah, I quite like that idea.
Oh, I laughed at his glare. I'd seen San Francisco's shrewd thugs, hardened cops, and deadly politicians, but none could ever match that gaze.
Okay.
Just 2 circles. Oh, that's hilarious. I knew I didn't have what he wanted. Reaching into my coat, I took out my knife and flicked it open. Should we give him the knife or should we hold it steady? I would like to shank this yellow-eyed demon.
Do they mean give him the knife as in stab him, or do they mean hand him the knife? I don't.
Well, let's explore that option. Let's give him the knife.
Oh, where he's going to kill us? Okay, okay. Give him the knife. Give him the knife. Got it.
I gave him the knife, sliding it across the desk. Look, I said, that's all there is. Take it or leave it. But a detective knows when she's beat. And I knew then, He wanted to search the place, and that's what he would do. I sighed, knowing my weakness for his type. Alright, I said. Let's look.
Okay.
Now he's got daggers in his eyes. Is he Judge Doom? No, he's a cat!
Obviously. What?
He let out a gleeful meow in victory. Oh, he was a cat all along. Oh.
That's fun. Okay.
I picked up the knife and cut a piece of my apple that the cat had rejected. Always the sore winner. I jabbed, but I was smiling too, because I was telling the truth. There was absolutely no other food in my apartment.
Okay.
Darn cat. Should have gave him the knife. Ah!
Oh, there we go.
The cat often dropped by to scavenge. He made a lot of noise when he thought I was holding out on him. But right now, the place was clean empty. No food anywhere. I had to prove it to him.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
are we going to find the food?
So before we do anything, I'm just going to check we are still streaming. Sorry, streaming paranoia. We're still going!
Woo!
And it's working! Marvellous. Marvellous. Okay, right. So I guess we have to, we have to click about then. Okay, let's see. The book.
The old notebook, now filled to the brim. I wrote everything down. I'm sorry about this.
Should I be voice acting really? You jumped straight in there. I was like, should we? Okay, zig.
My smoker's cough acted up.
Yeah, and then you're going to be like, yes, I wrote everything down. Even the minor. It's like it's in character. You got like some probably like a throat thing going on.
Exactly.
Like,
Years of smoking, it tells you. Never know what can be useful. Now we get a choice.
Okay.
The first half had my old cases. The second had my current. Do we look at the current or do we look at the past?
Let's look at history. Let's see what we've been up to. Okay.
The first half of my old cases. Details from the beats I used to walk in my policewoman days. Of course, policewomen were forbidden from going on patrol, but Lewis often overlooked that rule.
So I didn't know there was a female lead character in this. I generally didn't know that. Okay. Alright. So can we look at it again? Can we look at the new cases? So do.
No,
Oh,
no
we only
choices
get,
this time. We're shaping the story.
You only get one hit of this. Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
What's that on the floor? Is that
Don't know what that
newspapers? A newspaper was flopped on the floor. Its headline about the death of Lenin, leader of the Red Menace sweeping Russia. It seemed the Bolsheviks had lost their head.
I love this era so much. This American, like this time period where it's like,
You're gonna have to explain this time period to me.
like the Red Scares with the communists and that, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's the idea that there's communists everywhere and they're out to ruin capitalism.
No,
And
it's like Red Dawn.
Is that what Red Dawn is about? Is it?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
It's one of those, take that kind of thinking, taken to the extreme when Russia does invade American soil and stuff. And American kids has to fight back.
Okay, so it's sort of a fantasy where they invade.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's interesting. But then back then everyone wears suits and everyone was listening to jazz and it was all Art Deco style and you know like fucking what's the word? Prohibition. That's all era, you know. I love it. I absolutely love everything about. I'd go back and live then if it wasn't so racist, probably. So.
I think you get away with that. Just
I'm nearly white
straighten
enough.
your hair and yeah, you can pass.
Pretend I'm just a bit swarthy.
Yeah.
Yes. Why is there a bird there? Let's see.
I kept a small statue underneath the side table. It had been police evidence in a crime, and its owner hadn't wanted it back. I took a shine to it, so I snagged it for myself on my way out to the department. Oh, why are we stealing evidence?
You stole like a bird figure.
It's still evidence.
Fair enough. Okay, so we don't play by the rules. Okay,
Oh,
it's establishing
fast
character.
and loose.
It's interesting. So, okay.
That lamp had belonged to my Uncle Lewis. He had been an SFPD officer, one who argued policewomen could be good detectives, even while the others jeered at me. I knew he'd been right, but my current workload didn't help their claim. Now, do we think about our Uncle Lewis and all that he did for us, a policewoman, or do we not think about what he did?
Might be painful memories, but I want to know. Go on, let's think. Should we think about Lewis? Is
Yes,
that
we
cool?
should. Let's think
Sorry,
about
I keep
Lewis.
making the decisions. Sorry, man.
I thought about Lewis more often than I wanted. I was lousy at handling the emotions behind those thoughts.
So
she cares about her uncle.
It's interesting. I think you're right. It's affecting the character, maybe how it comes across.
I think it is.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Why are you doing the Justin Roiland noise? He does that.
Trying to
doesn't
do
he?
the Bill Cosby. Ooh.
Which was, I think that was Justin Roiland.
Yeah, it was.
Because sometimes Mr. Meeseeks did that noise,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Like, oh, wee!
That's gonna be our new sound for when things are intriguing.
God, Ziggy, people have to listen to this. They can't hear us every 5 seconds going, ooh! This would be horrible. Sorry, people who are using earphones. Christ. Okay. Anyway, so...
Well, this is something we've already read.
Oh, you've already read it. Sorry, my bad.
Something.
My bad. I've
Now
looked
let's
at
click on
yet.
the cat. The cat had waltzed into my apartment a few years earlier. He kept coming back, and there was rarely a morsel to eat. He'd continued his loud meowing until I proved to him the place was empty of food. Let's talk to him.
Got it.
It doesn't matter how doe-eyed you are, cutie pie. We've got no food around, I told him. He licked his chops and looked at me. Apparently he still didn't believe that. I needed to contradict him somehow, to show him something in the apartment that would prove it was empty of food.
Okay, so...
Could we contradict him?
Oh, I see. So we've got to give him the case. So goals show the cat there's no food. What evidence have we got?
We got loads of evidence.
Let's show him the desk lamp.
Haha!
That's
a statue.
Yeah, desk lamp. There you go. And the cat's going to be like, fuck you.
Nothing to eat here, I told him. The cat let out a disagreeable meow. Apparently that didn't satisfy him. I had to show him that where I kept the food was completely empty. What would a cat, what would a lamp? I went back to the apartment to search for clues. Now this is a nice point-and-click detective adventure.
It is, it's up there, isn't it? So how do we, what do we, ooh, I can't show him an ashtray.
Is there
Hold on,
something in there? Yeah. Oh!
Okay, no, I'm going to look at the ashtray first, hold on. So I think that might be the one. That might be the one.
Hot cigarettes were the latest trend. Ah, see? Smoking! But I still prefer to roll my own. The ashtray was evidence that it was a practical skill. I suppose I had a lot of free time back then. Still, the cough still affects me to this day. I had taken copies of old murder cases from the SFPD records when I left. I loved reading through them, even though my own contributions were minimal. At that time, I longed for those types of jobs. The truth was, any work was hard to find for a female detective.
Okay, Ziggo. Can we go?
Oh.
Okay, there's some stuff we can leave. We need to go to the kitchen.
Go
or
to
something.
the
What's this?
fridge. The regular white icebox, tinged yellow with age, half blocked the kitchen doorway. My income rarely kept much stocked in it, and right now, it was empty.
Ah, there we go.
Oh,
There
here we go, we did
got
it.
this. Oh no, it's my Jordan Peterson friend. Alright, goodbye.
Oh,
No.
shit.
I'm not continuing that conversation.
Phone drop.
Gabe, I love you, but you can suck all of my ass. Anyway,
Okay, now we have evidence to prove to the cat.
let's stare at the door for a second. Though.
Door to the outside world. If I left now, though, the cat would start wailing so loud I'd get complaints from the neighbors. No, he needed convincing before I could leave. How loud is this cat?
Oh yeah. Fucking foghorn in there.
Aha, we've got you now,
Let's
cat.
show you the
Icebox. Oh, well, there we go.
See, cat.
I opened the icebox so the cat could see inside. Empty, I told him. Then I kicked him.
Jesus.
Oh shit! Achievement unlocked.
Nice.
The cat looked quizzically at the open door, then back at me. Sorry, fella, there's no grub in there for me either. But you look pretty tasty. He stared at me with eyes as disappointed as I felt. His big yellow has always got to my soul. Thoughts of my family filled my head. But never mind that.
Clearly, we're not going to do that.
Well, Matt, what should we do?
The parents will tell us about her past, but I think her sister talks about maybe a trauma, maybe she's dead or something like that. That's what they always do in these stories, isn't it? Ah.
Well, what about that never mind one?
No, I want to know. Baby. I'm not going to pick the option where they don't tell us things. It's rubbish.
But it adds to the mystery.
I don't want. You know what the mystery is when you leave because you know nothing about this game because I just kicked you out, Ziggy. There's a mystery for you. You can wonder about this game in another room somewhere, and I make all the good choices. No, which one, dude? Other than never mind. What do you think?
Sister.
Okay.
My sister, Muriel, had sent a letter with an update of her life in Chicago. She and her husband, Eustace Bagg, had just purchased a new home outside the bluster of the city. Their 3 young children were looking forward to the move. I had never told Muriel, but those letters... Oh, this is it, Matt. Do we? Well, we gotta keep it going.
This is weird. It's not as simple as they tell us about her backstory. I think it does decide how we feel as a character, isn't it?
Maybe this is for starters. There's a bit of both added in this one.
So should we roleplay as a bit sentimental then, or just a cold dickhead? Like, which should we be?
Sentimental to family, cold to everyone else, I think.
Okay, alright, that's fair.
I never told Miriam. Oh, wait. Dang it, my sister had the ordinary life that I had always rejected. I wanted to change the world or to save myself. Which one? I'd wanted to change... No, to save myself.
Yeah, I think that's in fitting with our character. I think we'd be selfish.
This is all noir, man.
Yeah, man.
I'd wanted to save myself from the monotony of traditional marriage, to prove that a woman could do more than her child-rearing duty. There we go. Not that I was helping advance that cause with the types of cases coming my way.
Okay.
My mind spiraled into the usual series of questions. Had I even impacted the women's movement? Had I made any change on society at all? Was my plodding career worth losing traditional happiness? Maybe. What was the point in the life I had chosen? Oh, deep questions.
There you go.
A loud meow from the cat snapped my thoughts back into the moment. I took a deep breath and grinned back at him. Guess you can scram now, I said. Nobody's going to come knocking with food for you, fella. The cat hissed and scratched by itself. Anyway, there immediately came a banging on the front door. Beyond the nuisance, this cat was psychic too. You order out? I asked him.
We're such a cheeky scamp.
Oh, jeez, he's got no eyes. The corner was the regrettably familiar face of Connor Greed. I wonder why he's called that, huh? Okay.
Okay.
Now remember, we've got to be cold to everyone else, including this Connor Greed.
So we're going to look past him, or is his company literally going to churn our stomach?
Well, Greed is the color of sick, so we'll do that.
Okay.
We don't take no crud from no man, except our uncle and probably dad. His company churned my stomach. It might have been his bergamot perfume, which hung around my nostrils like a lingering unwanted guest, or that sordid smile which was forever plastered on his face, or in fact he's got no eyes. Oh, he's so freaky. He stared at me through the doorway with a coy smile. Well, ain't you gonna invite me in?
Hey, can I voice act the other characters?
Oh, sure.
Well, you do everything with a cold.
Well.
Let me do something.
Okay.
Say it like a lemon. Okay. Alright.
Well, how are you going to do his voice?
I'm not going to put on a voice necessarily, because I think there's going to be a lot of characters in this, that's the thing. But like, okay. Well, and you're going to invite me inside?
I start closing the door.
Are you serious?
Yes, we're going. I told you, cold to everyone else.
He's going to force his way in though.
I start closing the door, but he stuck a foot out to stop me.
Hey now.
He chided.
Foul way to treat a customer, Malone.
Customer? So that was his angle, hiring me as a detective. I wondered what a bootlegger would need a private eye, but he answered without my prompt.
I'll make this quick. I can't take this to the hog house or the pigs would laugh at me out. And other dicks just aren't that as tempting.
If you take that line out of context. His grin widened. Thought this was going to be quick, I said, as I started rolling a cigarette. It wasn't quick, and I'd already rolled it and lighted a second smoke when Green finally finished the story. I noted the important bits in my book. Oh!
Okay.
It had started with a letter, slipped under his door in a white envelope. The envelope contained a single typewritten leaf, which he had handed to me. It read,
End your game, or end you.
Oh shit! It had no signature, instead ending with only a small scribble at the bottom right corner that resembled a black hand.
Black hand, eh?
Greed had a lead on a new rum running scheme, or a connection from Vancouver. He'd given a sample to Tiny Paul, the gangster who ran the Tin Spoon Speakeasy for mob boss Jerry Ferry. They'd agreed to buy in for more. Greed surmised the letter was about his rum running.
Okay, I get it.
He suspected Redstone Stable, another bootlegger, of sending the letter. He told me that Stable ran a barbershop during the day and gave me the address. Oh, all these
That's pretty cool. Okay, so there's beef between bootleggers.
These were the times.
That's what I love about this era, man. It's just so fucking...
What? But you could get shot at any moment in this era.
Love it.
Except for this green guy. Yeah.
Right.
His face. Green needed to know who the threat was from. He'd get Paul's gang to deal with them and continue his scheme to get rich.
If I go snooping myself,
He concluded.
folks see I'm not trusting people. No trust leads to no customers. I need to play it low key, which is where you come in.
I raised an eyebrow and stared at him through the cigarette smoke. Something in his yarn was still twisted. Like his face! He must have noticed my reticence, because he said,
You know, I worked closely with Lewis. I'm sure he'd want to protect me as much as any other victim.
"Oh,
Ooh, wait, who's Lewis again? Is that
Uncle Lewis."
Uncle Lewis, right, gotcha. He's a bit of a slimy dick, this one, isn't he? That's what
My uncle. Now we get a choice. Lewis had put me on the force. I had finally accepted Lewis's death. Wait, what? I was still searching for answers. Ooh, how are we going to direct this story?
Should we say we're still searching for answers, or something that torments us, and we're still trying to put it to bed?
I think so.
Yeah, man. That's the most interesting, I think, to me.
I was still searching for answers after his death. He'd been a man obsessed with helping victims and bringing justice to those beyond salvation. With that ethos, I never understood how he could have taken his own life. Those thoughts haunted me. I'd quit the SFPD and started my own practice, taking his philosophy. Was Green worth my time? Would he be worth Lewis's?
Right.
No.
Okay. I thought this game was voice acted, actually. I wasn't expecting this. Shit.
It's like a nice little noir point-click adventure. We gotta voice act ourselves.
Right. Okay.
Green had tipped off my uncle in a few cases. I'd wondered if that was enough to warrant my protection. Before I could think past my headache, he threw a bill in my lap.
Oh, keep the C note as a retainer, and don't worry about getting in touch. I'll find you later for a chat. I'm trying to do an accent, it's not
It's
working.
perfect.
Oh, is it? I'll work on that as we go. So, see, I just sound like the buggers from the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Well, this would fit.
With the little
That's
bugs.
it,
Hey, see, Tommy Gun. Okay.
He turned down the hallway and I let him go. If he was willing to give me $100 with no commitment, I wouldn't stop him. Hey man, you can't smoke.
It's noir, we have to smoke.
That green guy doesn't smoke.
I'm going to smoke one. I got cold, I'm sorry. I don't really got one. I'm sorry, dude.
But I'll tell you what, since this is
Itch
noir,
for the video.
you do the cigarettes and I'll do the hackers, the smoker's cough.
That sounds good. I'm getting into character, mate. That's what I'm doing. Shit, I don't have an ashtray.
Oh, shit. Oh, how can this be a noir if no ashtray?
There we go. Charles, shit. So, oh.
I'm gonna continue the story.
Oh, right, yeah, we've already talked about this, sorry. Right, I'm distracted. There we go.
I turned back to the apartment, still confused about the whole story. My headache wasn't helping either. Whenever I lacked clarity, a trip to Southern Coffee was usually the cure.
Okay.
See, that's your problem right there. If you spend less money on coffee and more on food. I mounted a gold plate on the outside that read PC Malone, Private Investigator. Oh.
What was that?
Because she's a private eye. She's, detective. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Half-assed.
I'm confused.
There was only one place I needed to go to clear my head. Okay, it says right there. Southern Coffee was a basement dive. It wasn't modern, hip, or ever busy, and it was my favorite place to down some paint. Wait, what? Especially in the company of the best bartender in the city.
I didn't know that was slang for coffee back then. That's new.
Well, that would explain the taste. Haha. Because coffee's disgusting.
I know you always dunk on coffee. Because you're a child, you drink energy drinks.
And tea, and basically anything apart from coffee.
Fair enough.
I hailed the driver, gave him the address, and stepped through the back door. There you go. See, authentic. I debated talking with the driver. Don't. We're keeping this.
That's in our character, isn't it? We have to. I kind of want to talk to him, but
No,
we
we
hate
don't.
people, don't we? Okay, we're committed to
We
this.
don't know this guy. I hailed the driver, gave him the address, and stepped through the back door. I peered out of the window until we arrived. That's right. Keep it silent.
Like a hard-boiled badass.
Never let the next man know your next move.
Okay. Right.
Southern Coffee was an automat diner. Ethel Burgess, the lone waitress, was friendly to help with any inquiry. Of course, if you winked at her right, she'd show you the way to the downstairs toilet, where Frankie played bathroom attendant. Oh, good, we get a toilet. Southern Coffee had a distinct feeling of home. The familiar smell of mold in that old basement was enough to put a grin on my face. Unless it's black mold, in which case you know it's a bit of a problem.
You get a horrible lung disease or something.
Exactly. Now, what should we do? Matt, no!
Booze.
No!
Booze.
Get away from this! It's a coffee shop!
More booze.
How did this happen? Frankie had a bond with that old shaker at the end of the bar. I was surprised he hadn't named it. He could sling a mean drink. They've only used the good liquor like if he liked you. Frankie liked me. I grabbed the wine bottle on the bar and examined the label. It featured a picture of grapes and the words, "Sacramental use only." Frankie looked at me with a spark in his eye. "Go ahead," he said. "Give it a swig." "No, we will not drink this one. We came for coffee."
You're playing the other
Coffee.
characters again. You're playing...
Coffee, we came
Give me
for...
the rolls.
Okay.
Damn you.
You're the conscience in this. Drink away. Oh, jeez. I grabbed the half-empty glass that had been next to the bottle and swirled some of its contents between my gums. A bit spicy. Oh, that's you.
Oh. Actually, you can be the barman if you want. You can do that, guy, if you want to.
A bit spicy, ain't it? Frankie asked. I personally would say...
We're gonna like booze. I've decided we're liking booze.
Ah, damn it.
We're hard-boiled, damn it. We're so hard-boiled.
Okay. So see, that's just a nice option about this game. We could be the kind of dick we can choose to be.
Yeah.
It's good, I nodded, and gulped the rest out. It'll cost you too. Ah, damn it, man. We gotta pay for this. He said with a smile as he grabbed the bottles from me, turning it through his hands. Rabbis charge more than a nickel for this beauty.
I think that's rabbis.
Rabbi, or whatever.
Rabbis.
No, rabbies.
The old rabbies.
Rabbies. Only this type of Napa wine is made from that Zinfandel grape.
Why have they highlighted that? Is that important?
It has a unique aroma. Probably it's a nice clue. I'd been trying to learn more about wine. Seemed everyone knew their stuff but me. I noted what Frankie had said about the origin of the grape as he sat the bottle back on the bar. What do we say, Matt?
Should be kind of spiky.
Yes, we should.
Okay.
Since when do you know about grapes? I chided. Frank let out a benny laugh that kind of sounded like Bender from Futurama. Well, we can't do it, but you get the idea. Some of these grapes are older than you, Malone, and I've known about them since I was a small tot. It's why I'm so good at my job, you know. Frankie sighed. Too bad more folks can't taste them. That woman's league is the devil. Oh, I'll go in the war boy now. Okay.
Okay.
Bobby Boucher, where are you at? What do we say?
What do you fancy? I made the last choice. Go on.
The Women's Christian Temperance. Oh, the Women's Christian Temperance Union was now under feminist Frances Willard. Oh, there you go. A positive force for the suffrage of women, but a staunch support of prohibition, along with the union's massive political clout, irked the very wet San Franciscan public, and she particularly wasn't popular with bartenders.
There's already a lot of feminist stuff going on in this already.
Oh, you made a good choice, Matt.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Take a seat, he said. I'll make you something else. Oh man, none of these things seem like an insult. Well, I guess we'll say he was a big fella. He was a big fella, both wide and tall, and must have been a little over 50. He had a round head, kind brown eyes, and a cropped ring of grey hair encircling an otherwise bald scalp. His voice had a warm timbre that complemented the tobacco and whiskey smell of his speakeasy.
Okay.
I sat at the bar. "You got the Spooks PC?" he asked. "You're warned as a catcher's mitt." I suppose my exhaustion showed. I want $100 for nothing, and I can't let it go. I told Frankie about the case, the threatening letter sent to Connor Green, how he assumed it was related to his bootlegging, and a suspicion of Redstone Stable. The story took longer than I wanted, Frankie showing genuine interest by asking many questions. When I finished, he threw me the whiskey sour he'd been stirring. I took a large gulp and gave a sigh as thanks. Well, Green's case is better than most of what you're given, he said with some enthusiasm. At least it's got more of that adultery bunk. Sure, I replied, but I started with a goal in mind. What's the point in helping a man like Green? Frankie clicked his tongue on his teeth. Ah, there you go. Lawyers or priests, it's why does it matter? Let me ask you, are the clients you have helped now the types you wanted help? We want to help? Ooh, what kind of clients were they to us?
Let's be honest. I admit they weren't. That's interesting to me. Okay.
I admitted they weren't. I told him that I wanted more from my detecting life. It could be that Green's case shoots your career forward, Malone. I sighed and stared down at my drink.
Alright, quick check of the stream. I'm worried I'm off camera. Fuck.
Dang it, man.
Oh, man. There we go.
But my daze was interrupted by the basement door opening, then slamming shut. Who could this be?
Another character.
A small, blustering woman began marching towards me. What do we say about this other female character? Let's say she looked younger then.
Okay.
She looked younger than 25 and was a few inches shorter than my 5'6". I thought her grey trench coat was too large for that small frame, which is what I realized. It was exactly like that one that had belonged to... Lewis!
It's the only choice we have, okay. Right.
She hurled insults at me. Oh wow. All I could do was sit and take it, until she ran out of gas and started breathing heavily. I set my drink on the bar and looked her in the eyes. Another female. What should we do?
We're gonna be a dick or what? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm worried it's gonna impact the story.
Nah, it's fine. I told you, root everyone else. I turned away as she was about to restart her tirade. That launched her even worse. She screamed, "Hey, you! I'm the wife of that bum who sneaks into your bed." I say we should be clever about this and ask the cat.
Okay, let's be a dick then.
That's right. I asked the cat, but humor wasn't her angle, and she launched into another poetic stanza.
I'll do a dialogue. And he just left your sty this morning.
She finally ended. And that's what I gathered. She was Connor Green's wife.
She's right.
Mrs. Green, I'm the PI, not a homewrecker. And I don't think your husband, in his line of business, would want to bet a dick anyhow. Take that line out of context again. Her look was pure incredulity.
A woman in that line of work?
She questioned.
I don't believe it.
Don't prove it, man. You don't have to prove anything to her.
No, we're not going to bother?
Nah.
Okay.
You don't have to believe it, I told her. But now you know my story. I want to know yours. Why are you here, Mrs. Green? Between shouting obscenities, I understood the parts of her story. Apparently, she had seen her husband leave my apartment, and distraught, she had followed me all the way to Frankie's basement to confront me.
Okay.
But ended her tirade with waterworks, the tears ruining whatever rouge she had put on her face. Frankie, even chivalrous to a dimpled girl, came around the bar and held her up. Now, well, you gonna do the voice?
That's you, isn't it? You're the barman, aren't you?
Okay. Now that's all right, Mrs. Green. Why don't I hail you a cab and send you on back home? She agreed, and they walked together up the stairs. See, if we didn't prove it, if things work out. When Frankie returned, I said to him, "You turned night real quick." He snorted a laugh. Ah, hell. We can't have that siren here. With a torture yelling like that, every street bugger will have to come to her rescue. Mrs. Green is a torch singer? Well, I learned she was Mrs. Connor Green just now, when she came in here. I'd only seen her as Little Fanny, singing lead for the jazz band at the Tin Spoon. The Tin Spoon, I said. Tiny Pool's joint? That's where Green was selling his liquor. Say, you think that's where she met her husband? I laughed. You're a real sleuth, Frankie. He made a sarcastic bow. Aw. I shook my head. You're telling me you escorted our little torture out just to avoid a bit of hot water? Frankie flushed and said, What are you talking about, Malone? I was never good with emotions, but it was plain that Frankie had instantly fallen for the girl. Oh, Frankie! So what if I asked So what if I had more to squeeze out of her, I asked. What more could you possibly want from little Fanny? She can't have anything to do with Green's mess. I feel we should contradict. Yeah. Let's get in there.
We have evidence of that, though.
Maybe the letter. Yeah, the letter would seem about right. Maybe. You know, he says end the game or we'll end you.
She's following her husband. You could say following him is a bit weird.
Yeah, let's say that. She had followed her husband because he suspected infidelity. Mrs. Green followed her husband to my place, I said. Why would she do that? Frankie rolled his eyes. PC, if you were Green's wife, would you trust her with anything? I'm sure she'd always be up to something. I shrugged and stumped from the bar stool. Nailed it in one. What had just happened was quite the ruckus. It seemed like my cue to move along.
I feel like we could have got more out of that, though.
Nah, we're doing fine.
I think our choices. Hey, what's this? What's this thing?
Once I'd asked Frankie to lend me some cash from that register. He growled so fierce that I decided not to ask again. I didn't think his employers would notice before I got it back. But maybe he just wanted to save me from myself.
Alright, should we get out of here?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
The worn stairs led to the outside world.
Off we go.
I was heading up the stairs when Frankie called after me. So what are you going to do? I'd been thinking.
Let's say we're thinking about Little Fanny, just so we get some, hopefully some personal information. Alright.
I'd been thinking about Little Fanny. I suppose even mobsters had people who cared about them. And she'd been wearing Lewis's old jacket. So perhaps Green and Lewis had been... sorry,
Get
Frankie.
out, buddy, get out!
So perhaps Green and Lewis had been closer than I'd realized. I guess I'll take Connor Green's bait, I replied. I've got nothing better on the stove, and he might need the help. Something still stinks though. Well, what's your plan? Frankie asked. The way I see it, I have 3 goals right now. Green hired me for a job. Find the guy who wrote the letter. That's the basic part. But you want more? Asked Frankie. I nodded. Green's a shady character. I have to learn about him. Who is this guy? Dig in his past. I can't go back to it blind. And then there's something about his bootlegging. How'd Green get a connection like that? What's his source exactly? Squeezing that lemon might just give me more juice. Well, that sounds alright, he replied. So where is it you're off to? I've got 3 leads. That bootlegger stable, who Green claims sent us the letter. The Tin Spoon Lounge, where I might learn more about Green's rim-running schemes. And Mrs. Green, who could give me more dirt on her husband. Frankie nodded his approval. Well, if you're ever stuck, come back and see me. We can never solve anything without talking it over. I smiled and went up the stairs.
Alright, so if we get completely lost, we come back here and you might do this quickly. Intriguing.
Oh, another achievement. I was debating on where to go next. I'd say we take it to the source of Green's house.
Green's house?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty.
Green's house might contain some more clues about his past, or for some reason a threatening letter would come in his way. If I got lucky, Mrs. Green would be there to pump with more questions. Let's go here. Let's go confront Mrs. Green. I flagged a taxi cab and was on my way. I thought about chatting with the driver to pass time.
Should we try it this time just to see what happens?
Oh,
see what
man, a hard-boiled persona, man.
I know we're in character, but at the same time, I just want to check to see if anything actually useful. We might get clues if we talk to them. That's the thing. Sorry to nag on that already, but I just want to at least try it once.
Some wine, so we're a little more talkative.
Yeah.
We began talking about his home state of Colorado. Lovely land, he said. Truly blessed with clean air and wildflowers. I asked, what should we ask him?
So why'd you leave, hot stuff?
Oh, Matt. I asked why he left. The people is mostly fired at her. It's the politics that are wrong. See, I married an Irish Catholic. Now most folks are backwards on that. But at least out here, they keep it to themselves. That clan had seeped right into the core of my beautiful state. Wait, what? What clan are you referring to? Oh, damn it! Oh, I freaking knew it! And now the clan is starting to think national. They're anti-black, anti-Jew, anti-Catholic, anti-Mason, who's that? Anti-you, name it. He shook his head.
Freemasons. Sorry. God.
Oh, these come from. He shook his head. A day of reckoning is coming with the KKK and our politics. I just hope sanity wins. Well, you know, this is 2018, and that is still questionable. Do you think sanity has won yet, Matt?
Well, as in, have we solved racism?
Yes.
Not exactly.
Well, that poor taxi driver is going to feel very disappointed.
Oh well.
I hope so too, I said. We came to my destination, and I stepped out of the taxi cab.
You took the taxi driver's dialogue again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me say things.
Oh, no, Matt. You're not ready.
Why won't you let me speak today?
You could be Mrs. Green.
Great. Anyone else? I get one character. Okay, go on.
Give me the Greens. The Greens' apartment was a section of an old Western Addition mansion. The owners had divided it for the struggling families to rent after the 1906 fire. Once downtown had been rebuilt, people of means moved out of the area. Recent immigrants, mainly from Japan, rented most of the apartments in this part of town. Do not question it.
Got a bit of bogeys, man.
Ah, Matt, where's my tissue? How long were you gonna? Oh, is this your revenge for?
I'm staring at it like it's gonna dribble. Ziggy.
Matt, no.
Ziggy's diseased. He's gonna give me a cold at this rate. It's rubbish.
It's all
stealing all the rolls, giving me germs.
She's the best friend.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. Such a lucky guy to have you around. Okay.
I am your guy friend. I knocked on the front door, but didn't get a response. The latch was undone, so I pushed it open and stepped into the room. I'd say the room reeked of laudanum.
I think we should comment on the cloud, just because it looks like this character sat here is
Yeah,
buggered.
she's fine. She'll be
There's going to be some
perfectly
comment
fine.
about opium, maybe?
Oh, yeah. The apartment had a dense cloud of black smoke hanging from the ceiling. Apparently, that window wasn't open much, and either Mr. or Mrs. Green smoked heavily.
Right, okay.
Aha, it wasn't opium.
Yeah, she's just smoking a lot. And getting
Let's look at everything before
Okay, stare at the stuff.
The bottles on the top of the round table were mostly empty.
She's got a drinking problem.
I opened the drawer of the backmost table. In it were 2 train tickets. I mumbled St. Louis to myself, but then came the cackling voice of Mrs. Green.
Oh. Ha! Forgot about moving, Connor. I won't budge.
Her head was raised, but her eyelids still remained closed. Oh, yeah.
She's trashed.
No, can't ask her yet. The ashtray over the top of the smallest table was overflown with spent cigarettes.
Oh, was there an option to talk to her, was there?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right, yeah. Should we?
I'd say we keep exploring before we confront her.
Okay. Okay.
See, I'm sure there's more. Yes.
So we did that. Boobadoo, there's a dead plant.
A wilting plant was on the furthest table from the door. I can never keep plants alive either. Even as the petals fell, they were still a vibrant yellow.
That's nice.
What about this stuff on the floor?
Oh,
The
yeah.
grey trench coat was hanging in the doorway. It certainly looked identical to Lewis. I searched the pockets and found no identifying marks. It might have been a different jacket, but its recent appearance was off-putting.
Okay.
Oh, we found a bottle! Empty bottles were strewn around the apartment. I brought one to my nose and smelled a distinct aroma of laudanum. Opium mixed with booze.
Oh, is there
A
opium?
harsh tonic.
Ah.
See, we're both right, but we should have smelt the laudanum for the opium, man.
Ticking all the boxes this game. I like it. Okay.
Okay,
So
now
maybe
back to the drawer.
I think the thing is, I think the ticket is going to be like evidence.
I think
and if we
so.
talk to her, she'll be like, "Oh, prove it," and we'll talk
I
about the
think
ticket.
so.
So I think we better ask.
Oh,
about
that's
that
the wrong
first.
one.
Oh, is it the wrong one?
It's this one.
Ah, you're right. Okay.
Okay, I asked her further questions, but her head just lolled back to where it had been. There was nothing else she'd say. Well, at least we tried.
What was her comment? I forgot what she said already.
What is it?
Oh yeah. No. What,
Oh,
she
wait,
said something about Connor, blah blah blah, something.
Oh,
Mentioned a bloke
before
called Connor.
moving when I'm not budging, or something like that.
Okay.
I found Mrs. Green slumped in her chair, eyes closed, head rocking slowly.
Thanks for
Hello, Mrs. Green, I said loudly. She let out a long moan from the chair. She had lifted her head, but failed to raise her eyelids. That's how everyone wakes up in the morning. She tilted her head to the side, giggled, and let it loll back into place.
Is that how you get up in the morning?
Yes. Yes.
After a bit of your opium, you know. Yeah, we've all
a
been
bit
there.
of my laudanum. I shook her lightly and she moaned again, but said nothing more.
Oh, you're useless.
Well, she's probably fine.
Crikey, woman.
Okay, maybe we should go back to the drawers and steal them tickets. I'm very adamant about them tickets. I want those tickets. I opened the drawer in the backmost table. There was 2 trade tickets. She disturbed Mrs. Green as I mentioned the tickets. I tried to ask her about the tickets again, but she was trapped in her opium days.
She's useless.
Just let me have the tickets, Mrs. Green.
No, there's a few lifestyle
Give me the
problems,
tickets.
but it's okay. So we got. Okay. So we've got some stuff to pitch at people then.
But my tickets. Oh,
Yeah, so.
oh yeah, we got.
So.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
so we
nicked
can-
the tickets.
That's good, so we can review the evidence later.
See, I told you we could have nicked the tickets.
Should we get the fuck out of here?
I think we should poke her in the nose.
Let's leave it to.
The frame was just warped enough to prevent the front door from closing. Oh boy, completely closing. That's not good.
Oh dear. Alright.
Something tells me she won't last that long. I was debating where to go next.
I think we should go stake out the other speakeasy next.
I think we should.
Yeah, I think that's
Wait, the Tin Spoon Lounge was the speakeasy.
That was it? Oh shit, well this is the barber shop. Okay, well let's go to the Tin Spoon Lounge then.
Yeah.
Not bad.
You know, Mrs. Green has a problem.
Although by day we'll find the people who work there at the barber shop that they run, won't they? So it
Oh,
might
yeah.
I reckon we should go there first, actually, saying that. Let's go there first.
Green suspected Redstone Stable of sending him that letter. Apparently, Stable owned the barber shop in the financial district. I figured there would be no harm in asking Stable about it directly. Let's go here, but not talk to the taxi man this time.
I want the
Chief,
flavour. I've changed my
harsh-
mind about this.
No.
How about we only relate to taxi drivers? I don't know.
Fine.
I want to know, Ziggs. We're just going to get if we're going to... I don't know, sorry. I worry about missing out on content with these games.
I want to explore just how far we can push this.
I don't know.
Okay.
You might miss
Oh, it's a
something.
different one. Okay. Alright, Matt. Good call.
Okay.
The youth driving the taxi cab was driving in shirt sleeves, his hat and jacket on the front bench beside him. Oh, our conversations led to local dance clubs.
Okay. Let's talk about the dancers then.
We talked about dances.
Every gal right now wants the turkey trot. The turkey trot. But I don't want nobody who can keep it up all night. Give me the shimmy or black bottom any day.
And if you take that line out of context,
Every line. Was all the slang back then like sexually suggestive?
only the ones I point out,
I
Matt.
love the black bottom, hey dick.
Whoa.
So what
So are we too tired to lead, or do we try not to? Why not the A-Waltz?
Because I think that's negging him or suggesting a boring dance. Like,
I'd say that's just a boring dance.
okay.
Not as if we'll beat that guy again. Why not a waltz? I asked. He laughed.
You flappers, always kidding a fella around. There's no chance in hell that you'll get a band to play waltz. Not at a swing club, anyhow. I'm tired by the end of it. I barely get energy to walk home. Lucky you don't need to walk.
He smiled as we arrived. I thanked him for the trip and left the taxi cab. Oh, isn't that
There
nice?
you go, it's flavour, I guess. We get some flavour.
The barber shop was down an alley in the financial district, opposite the red brick National Bank. The small bell above the door twinkled as I walked in.
Alright, okay. Chairs.
The maroon leather chair looked comfortable. It seemed elaborate for a barber shop waiting chair. Oh.
Okay.
The hat rack above was a deep mahogany engraved with the gold letterings that read Fraser and Co. Furnishing.
Okay, so that's fancy as well. It's a very fancy barber shop.
I think it's a front.
Maybe.
The two sides of the mirror's frame were cylindrical, painted blue, red, and white to look like a barber's poles. They clashed with the otherwise elegant furnishing.
Yeah, that's kind of tacky.
Yes,
Okay.
what would that be doing in a place like this? A frame on the back wall contained a yellowed photograph of an old man. He had an authentic smile and held scissors in his left hand.
Okay.
The modern hydraulic barber chair had always seemed ostentatious to me, but this one, with its soft brown cushions and gold embroidery, was the most ornate I had ever seen. Stable's cabinet was similar to my own, but where mine was a dull grey metal, his was a deep red wood that looked heavy.
Alright, posh guy. What you got to say?
There was a tall man in the centre of the room. He was wearing a flamboyant pink suit, tailored to accentuate his stature, with a maroon bow tie and pocket square. I gathered this was Redstone Stable.
I like his style.
Fancy man. Gotta bring back pocket squares. The man turned to face me. He grinned, and his squinting blue eyes made the smile feel genuine. Oh, is this you?
I must apologize.
He said.
We do not take walk-ins. Should we ask for a haircut?
I think so.
That'd be less subtle than just saying while you were there.
And even more subtle than I studied his face.
Just stare at him for a few minutes then. Your face is interesting.
Oh, jeez. It's nightmare fuel. I asked him for a chop. I'm sure you could squeeze me in. His eyebrows raised and he chuckled.
I'm completely booked, Miss Malone.
Oh shit!
How'd you know her name?
Game over.
Another time.
His laugh both looked and sounded abnormal, wheezy but forceful. Yeah, we're gonna go straight up. How do you know our name?
You!
How do you know? How did you know my name? I asked him. He tisked a few times and said,
That is a dull retort. You know you're not a standard detective. Please do not act as mundane as all the other sleuths.
He sighed, but put a smile back onto his face.
Yet perhaps you're here about a matter of interest. What is it you want? Oh, so we didn't impress him. We didn't impress him at all.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does. We're getting
he knows of our exploits.
That's it. It doesn't matter. We're making bad choices, Ziggy.
No, it's fine.
So what can we shove at him to get him to talk? Let's think.
No, we said
what's this guy's name again? I forgot his bloody name. He's not Connor, is he?
Oh, Red Stable something. I'm sure we'll find it. Red. I had no my name.
Should we talk about the singer at the Tin Spoon and see what he says?
Yeah.
Mention Mrs. Green.
Story singer until she was known as No Fanny. I showed him something in my notes, but I got no information from our exchange.
Okay, that's not
okay.
Okay. Interesting. What else we got? I think just asking about the threatening letter might be a bit much.
No, let's ask about the new bootlegging scheme.
Okay.
Let's see. I could follow
that's a good call,
to
actually.
Redstone Stable. Yep. There we go. Yeah, it's there. It's that paragraph.
Okay.
Green claims he bootleg, I stated bluntly. That's right. His Green didn't wait for his response.
Would you hang me on Connor Green's claims? I may partake in some gambling, but I may have a talent for it. But it's nothing illegal, I assure you.
Oh, we got something. And you know nothing about Green's own bootlegging? I asked. Stable shook his head. I doubted he would ever answer a question straight.
Yeah, that's no use.
Oh, that's.
Well, Miss Malone, will there be anything else?
I think we should.
Let's see what else we got.
We know that he's a gambler. Oh, the mystery continues.
Should you ask about the picture frame? There's a picture of a fancy man in it, wasn't there? Yeah.
Maybe that's his daddy. Oh,
raised his eyebrows.
Oh, I pointed to the picture frame on the wall. That the old man? I asked. Stable turned to look at the photograph.
No, that is my grandfather, taken near the end of his life.
Why did you hang it in here?
Oh,
we got something.
We did something. Oh, okay.
Oh.
This store was formerly owned by my grandfather.
He started with humble beginnings.
You're taking my lines.
Oh, I thought I was.
The speech box.
Sorry.
Damn it, Zig. You really want to read. You're very keen to read today, aren't you?
Reading is power.
Is it Zig? My Zaid taught me... Zadie? Taught me the meaning of hard work and dedication. I'm humbled by my reminders of him.
Oh.
Well, Miss Malone... Oh, we've already done that. Alright, anything else?
What about that mirror with the weird tacky mirror?
Yeah? You want to try asking about that? Where'd it go? Okay.
There we go. Let's ask about that.
Okay, it's got some dialogue.
Yeah, see, I looked at the cylinders on either side of the mirror. That mirror is a sore thumb, I said. You seem above that sort of camp, Stable. Wait, what?
I said it tacky, yeah, I get it.
See?
Perhaps.
He agreed.
But that mirror also belonged to my Zaid, and I enjoy my reminders of him.
I asked him further questions about his grandfather, but Stable refused to elaborate.
Oh, bloody hell. I'm not doing too well here.
We did something, right? Let's try that waiting chair, that super fancy.
Talk about the chair. I don't think this is going to get us anywhere. Oh, it's made him happy.
Yeah, see, I nodded to his furniture. Elegant trappings for a barber. Math was never my strong subject, but I can't see a barber making enough for all of this. He smiled.
Yes, I have other methods of procuring wealth, but I do not engage in illicit activities, if that's what your implication.
He won that chair.
Oh shit. Okay, so that's cool. We got a clue from that. Should we try the? Did we do the waiting chair? We just did. You asked to do the barber chair, didn't you?
Well, we could try the hat rack. It did have a strange.
Oh, the engraving. Yeah, the engraving. That's right. Yeah.
Fraser and Co. Furnishings. I nodded again to the elegant furniture in the room, but Stable wasn't ready to admit to where his wealth had come from.
So we can't keep going down that road then. That's interesting though. Alright, okay. What else we got?
Tickets to St. Louis. Yeah.
Could try mentioning it.
Yeah.
Alright.
There he
He
is.
doesn't care. He's very kindly listening to all our bullshit. He hasn't like kicked us out or anything.
Claims he doesn't bootleg. See, we got clues.
Got a new thing we can ask there, yeah.
I think this could be it from the shop.
Have we asked him about that? So we asked him.
Yeah, let's ask about the husband.
Yeah.
I showed him something in my notes, but I got no good information from it.
Okay. So we'll ask him that last.
Guy.
I think leave it then.
We can't elaborate on that.
Bugger it. Alright, we'll leave you. Screw you then.
Nothing now, I said, and turned back to the barber shop.
Okay. Well, that's cool. The more people we talk to, the more stuff we amass, and we can come back later, I assume.
That's right.
Alright, cool. Cool.
The front door had a bell on top of it. I think that went well.
We got like 2 clues. I don't know if that's good.
We got the Z.
Is that good?
It's good enough. We know this guy's a gambler.
He gets money somehow. He's not letting on. Okay. To the Tin Spoon Lounge.
The Tin Spoon Lounge was a speakeasy in North Beach run by Tiny Paul, the gangster that Green had put in with. I'd never been there. The mob keeps a tight lip on their own houses, but I figured it would be a good place to chase Green's bootlegging story.
Let's do it.
Oh. Wee. So what are we going to do to this taxi?
We're talking. I don't care.
Oh, jeez.
I don't care.
The driver started talking about the latest films.
Have you seen the 10 Commandments?
He asked excitedly. I admitted I hadn't.
There's this scene, okay, where Moses parts the sea, and the Israelites.
Yeah,
It's
too late in his character now.
The Israelites. You can't pronounce words correctly.
That's
it's
right.
in character. Yes, I'm not just misspeaking.
Too late, it's canon.
They walk through the part. I mean, they walk across completely. You hear? I don't mean in the story, but in the film itself. Just a group of actors in between mountains of water. It looks real. I melted in my seat. How did they do it?
I hope we get to break the illusion.
And it was these colors, right?
He continued.
They're so vivid. The whole scene in blue, when it's dark, or orange when it's hopeful. I haven't seen anything like it.
I want to break the illusion.
What?
I want to shatter his illusion.
Why?
He's too hopeful.
Okay. But it's strange. Less than half the film is about Moses. I mean, You call a thing the Ten Commandments and you expect it to be the old story. And it is. But there's a long stretch about these brothers John and Danny. And this John guy's greedy and Danny's nice. But of course, in the end, John gets what's coming to him. Weird way to tell the story, though. See? Anyhow, we're here. But you should really see this flick.
Considering how much he just told me about it, I felt I didn't need to anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh!
Hey, dicks, I like ruining films, see?
Oh, man.
Terrible.
I opened the cab door in front of a North Beach warehouse with a wooden sign. The sign's text was too worn for me to decipher any of its English, but a small grey spoon was still visible below the letters. This must be the right place.
Okay.
Let's dive on in. I rapped my knuckles twice over the large metal door.
Right, we're going to have to be careful here, because I think we'll have to say something or do something to get in, right?
A paddle just above my head.
Nice. Password.
Reveal a pair of eyes. Oh, shit.
This is cool, Okay.
The eyes looked me up and down, ooh, and then just stared ahead. They were black and held no emotion. The room beyond was dimly lit, so I couldn't see much of their surrounding face. I cleared my throat. Then a rumbling voice emerged from behind the door.
Alright, I got this. Fill full your cups. Feel no distress. And all our great thoughts shrinking less.
I looked at the eyes, still unmoving, and the stored. The doorman wanted a password. I thought I might have something in my notes that could help.
So fill full your cups, feel no distress, and all our great thoughts shrinking less.
Seems a riddle.
And this is related to the barbershop, right?
Probably.
Was it? Oh no, it's Connor's one, isn't it? That's not the barbershop guy's one. Oh shit. I don't think we got anything that's going to help us with that at all. What did Connor say to us? We got nothing. Alex.
What could the password possibly be? We should have probably gone to this Mrs. Green again.
Well, I don't know, like, there wasn't any forthcoming clues about a password. I think we might be buggered on this, actually. Oh no.
No, it's fine.
To go in the speaky.
We'll find something.
No, there was nothing at Green's house either, really.
Let's see.
Yeah, take her to St. Louis.
I don't know what that is, but it kicked, but it. Oh,
shit.
Shit. Prohibition was a joke in San Francisco, and most speakeasies would let just about anyone through the door. But the mob weren't as relaxed with their rules. I knew I wouldn't enter until I'd said the correct response. I wondered who I could have asked about a speakeasy password.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Who could we possibly ask?
We've been everywhere. Shit.
Let's go back to the coffee place.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, he might know. The barman might know.
If I was stuck on the case, I could grab a drink and shoot the breeze with Frankie. He might give me a good tip. So what should we do to this taxi guy? I gave my address to the slouch in the back seat of the taxi cab. I thought a good way to pass the journey would be to chat with the driver.
Yeah, let's get a bit more flavour. You can do this guy's voice if you like.
Okay.
If you want. Alright.
He started talking about boxing. My brother was travelling out east last fall. Won a couple tickets to a boxing match in a dice game. Wouldn't you know it? It was the Dempsey fight.
Must be about the fight?
Yeah. I asked about the fight. Dempsey and Firpo? That was the heavyweight bout of the century. El Toro de la Pampas, he said, with an exaggerated bellow. The big bull comes up from Argentina and tries to knock out our boy off his game, but good old Jack came back.
Ask about the seats. That's more friendly, or
let's ask about Dempsey was knocked out of the ring.
Okay.
Dempsey was knocked out of the ring, I counted. He flew into a typewriter and nearly lost his head. The driver nodded enthusiastically. Sure. That's what makes it so exciting. Jack gets knocked on his back, returns and gives El Toro a thwack. Quite the poet, I said as we rolled to my destination. He smiled. Time to get out, Mac. I nodded and left the taxi cab.
Oh, there you go. Alright, so we know this. We've done this before, haven't we?
Right.
Alright. Come on, is it Frankie?
Yes, that's right.
Come on, Frankie. Give us some love. Come on.
I looked at Frankie.
Oh, what's eating you, kid?
Yeah. You gotta ask about the password. There. Oh.
Where was it?
Yeah, get the password. Click on the password. Let's see what.
Right. If Frankie doesn't know, I don't know what we're gonna do.
The tin spoon doorman kept me outside the joint. He wanted a password, but I have no ideas. Fill full your cups, feel no distress, at all our great faults shrinking less. He says, who knew gangsters were riddling types? Frankie laughed.
All our great thoughts shrinking less,
He said. What? I asked, puzzled. He turned and grabbed the bottle from his shelf.
Vintage stuff, this. Strange they'd use it as their coat.
Oh,
Hey, we got
he
it.
handed me the bottle and I read the back of the label. Fill full your cups, feel no distress, at all our great thoughts shrinking less. We'll do a good deed nevertheless. Oh, there it is.
That's smart though, that. Okay, so
Oh,
they use a password only from posh booze. So they get posh
exactly.
customers. Okay, I get it. I follow.
So the password was a poem from this vintage label. I now knew I had to say this. What I had to say to the doorman.
Nice.
Well, that's about it. We don't.
Do you ask about other stuff though? Let's see. What else we got to talk to him about? We can
Well, we
ask
can
him
ask about either the barber guy and his
Yeah.
gambling habits. Oh man, we can. Let's try, yeah. Redstone claims he doesn't bootleg. Let's see if that's the case. I pointed something in my book, but Frankie's response was nothing memorable.
Frankie doesn't give a shit.
Boo!
Screw you, Frankie.
Boo this man.
Let's see if he knows why Redstone might know our name.
I asked Frankie, but his response got me no closer to solving the case.
Right.
Just that smile.
One more look.
Tickets to St. Louis. Let's see what's going on with that. I feel that could be very important. Ah!
No, he's got nothing. Okay, go.
He's giving us this blank screen.
Ah, click everything.
Ah!
See if she has anything to say about Mrs. Green. Just quickly. He really doesn't. Alright, we'll stop wasting time.
He's just
with that
randomly grinning at you, Matt.
Damn it, Frankie. You're
Just like-
charming but
Yeah.
useless. Screw you, Frankie.
Oh, we're getting there.
Okay.
Back
So back to the tin spoon.
lounge, yeah.
Get in there next year, yeah.
Now we know. Oh, yeah.
Hello, I was here 10 minutes ago. I'm back again. All right, mate.
We got some fast taxis. This is clear evidence that we are a Caucasian lady.
I see.
I asked him about his shift and how much longer he'd be driving. Not all my conversations with cab drivers were memorable. Ah, damn it, Matt.
Fair enough, game.
Boo.
Never mind then.
That's what happens. I wrapped my knuckles on the metal door. The panel slid open and the same dark eyes stared down at me.
Doobly doobly doo, we know.
Aha!
There we got the
Take
correct
this.
There we go. Damn. Let us in.
We'll do a good deed nevertheless. I recited the line that Frankie had showed me on his bottles. The eyes squinted.
Wait here.
Came a gruff response. The panel slid shut and I heard footsteps walking away. I rolled a cigarette and waited.
You didn't let us in.
Wait,
It's
well,
going to get heavy to come and beat the shit out of us.
they're not going to beat a lady. After a quarter of an hour, well, that's long, the panel opened again.
Bar's closed, but you can shoot Paul in the upstairs room.
Said the eyes. He pulled the door ajar so I could see a set of metal stairs.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, but what are they hiding from me? I walked up the stairs and opened the thin wooden door to the billiards room. It was a much smaller than I expected for a gangster's paradise. The only light that came from the hanging lamps above the billiard table. The haze of cigarette smoke darkened the room's corners. Now let's explore.
Nice. Look at the lights.
The room was lit only by the dangling lamps above the billiard table.
So the table.
A
Chair.
couple of tall chairs were placed around the billiards room. What about the background pictures and stuff? Oh, oh.
Not a lot going on here. Okay, we stare at the table.
The pool table was the focus of the space, the light reflecting from the smooth green surface tinted the den. I saw a tall, broad-shouldered man playing the table by himself. Based on Frankie's description, I gathered this was Tiny Paul. Oh, here we go. Now this is the guy that you can see do that voice.
Okay. Hello.
I cleared my throat to get him to look at me, then followed with a casual, "Are you ever gonna take a shot?" He looked up straight, rested his cue on the table, and looked at me sideways. It was the petulant stare, look of a boy forced to play with his younger sibling.
Hello.
He sighed.
Oh, his voice was deep. Hello.
That's perfect, is it?
Um,
Was his voice deep, or should we ask him about billiards?
let's get him into conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if we can move that along.
I asked him more about billiards.
Thing is,
He said in his baritone.
once you... oh
Yeah,
god.
we're doing that same gangster voice.
We can do that
doesn't it?
anyway, even though it makes no sense. It's not within the
Exactly.
description. Okay. Once you clear my balls and the other guy, you got more crap in your way.
Yeah.
Billiards is all about navigating through the crap.
I never shot. Oh, is this you? Oh. I never
That
shot
is you.
much pool, but I thought he might look like me if I feigned interest. I considered lying to him, telling him that I played a lot.
Yeah, let's do that then.
We're gonna lie to it.
There we go.
Oh shit! He cricked his neck.
He didn't seem to like my answer. Oh shit.
No better sport. I lied. He didn't seem to like my answer.
Sometimes you broads will always say anything to get what you want. Shit.
Still eyeing the billiards table, he asked. It's you.
And what is it you want? Should I ask for a drink?
Let's be straight. Maybe he'll appreciate honesty if we ask him about greed.
I got the idea he's gonna chuck us out, but okay.
He ain't gonna chuck us out. He's tiny. What's he gonna do? I asked him about greed. How's the gamble on that one? He grunted.
Green's setting it up. We're the muscle. What more is there?
I do not want to reassure him that he's just baiting him out to us. So we'll just ask him, you like greed?
Yeah, that's a good call.
You like greed? I asked. The wrinkles on his brow deepened.
Like or dislike, it don't matter sometimes. I work with what I'm given, and he's given us a good lead, see? I suppose that's why you're here, Milo.
How do you know my name?
Oh shit.
So he knowed me too. The doorman must have looked me up. The bay talks fast.
Anyhow,
He said, eyeing the billiards table.
you need anything else from me? If you want something, you better ask specific.
Ha! Mobsters never failed to grate my nerves. He wouldn't tell me anything unless I pushed him before I already knew. Let's go ask him some questions
Alright, let's see.
about the bootleg and everything. Let's go. We don't need evidence, we need statements.
Let's see.
So, it would have to be the new bootlegging scheme.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
So you're giving Green the dough, I asked.
That's right.
He said.
We give him the cash to get the supply going.
Oh, you already gave him the money? Aren't you afraid he's gonna run out on you? I asked. Oh, it's where the tickets come in. Tiny Paul frowned.
I suppose you know less than I thought. Well, just to set you straight, that kid's right under my thumb. No way he'd get out of town alive before setting up our source.
We got tickets that says otherwise, you know. He turned his gaze back to the pool table.
Anything else?
Let's go. Let's keep pressuring about these bootleggings.
Should I ask about Mrs. Green following her husband?
Well, what would he know about that? Let's ask about the
No, you're
singer
right.
at the Tin Spoon. Maybe that would jog his memory, because I don't think he knows too much about Mrs. Green's life.
Which bit, sorry?
Singer at the Tin Spoon.
Okay, yeah, good call. There's anything to say about her?
Green's wife is a torture here? I asked. Paul smiled.
With the parts she's got built into that body, she's the reason most fellas keep coming back to the joint.
See, there we go, building things up. He's very impressed.
Okay.
Now for Redstone Stable. I feel like there's some kind of thing that he claims he doesn't bootleg.
Alright, yeah, let's see if he has to say about that.
Know anything about Redstone Stable? I asked.
Heard the name,
He replied.
but why all the gossip? He could tell you more about himself.
You won't give me anything on him?
Now, why would I do that?
He shook his head and asked.
Anything else?
Oh, he's being tight-lipped.
He's pissy about it now.
Oh,
Like, you don't narc, man. You don't snitch.
okay.
Let's see.
Threatening letter. Let's see if he knows something about this letter.
Okay.
Oh shit, he's happy.
Well,
Know anything about this note? I asked and pulled out the letter with the black hand on it. Tiny Paul looked at the page, then laughed with his whole body.
So there's a letter. Green's shaking over that. I'm not losing sleep, though. Look, Green and I aren't best pals, but nobody's gonna touch him with our protection. And none of us sent it to him, or else I would know about it.
Oh,
Anything
so it
else?
wasn't them.
Okay.
I still feel Mrs. Green had a hand in that letter, though.
Seems dodgy, doesn't it?
Well, let's see if we can dig up more evidence on Redstone's stable.
Yeah, does he suspect the Redstone? Let's see, Green's got this theory on it.
Oh, I tried to work something about stable from Tiny Paul, but he withstood my browbeating without letting anything slip. Oh.
Damn it. Okay.
So we know he didn't send the letter. Oh, we should have talked to the barber about that letter.
No, we probably should actually.
Well, at least we're narrowing down the evidence. But we need to find out more about Mr. Green.
You've asked all these, haven't we?
Yeah.
So can we ask him further stuff about this? Oh, no.
No, but these are from the source.
That's actually him, isn't it? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Wait, let's provide the tickets as evidence. See what he has to say about them tickets to St. Louis.
I'm worried that's going to get him in trouble.
Nah, that's fine. It'll be fine. I considered telling Tiny Paul about Green's tickets to St. Louis, but if these mobsters thought that Green was able to blow town, they'd be liable to dig him an early grave. I still needed to solve my case, and for that I needed my employer alive. Maybe after it all cleared up, I'd mention Green's tickets. I must have been lost in thought, because Tiny Paul said,
Can I get back to this already?
motioning to the pool table.
So the lead character agrees that's not a good move. It's just going to get him killed.
A dick move.
Quite swiftly, yeah. What else we got?
I know there's something we're missing.
Should I ask about the bloke in the picture? See if there's anything to say about that. Oh yeah, there we go.
What's the is you?
What's that got to do with any of this?
He asked. I tried to press him further, but got nothing. He sighed, apparently eager to get back to his game.
Anything else? Damn it!
We'll get this. We'll get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I think it's all a bunch of nonsense now.
Try the empty bowls. The ones that were laced with opium. Let's see if...
Oh, if he knows about her drinking problem.
Well, close enough.
No. Okay,
where's
let's
the
ask
dud?
let's try asking about the place we're in as well, just quickly.
Yeah.
It's about the chairs. He's not going to give a shit, is he?
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, what's he saying?
Alright. I think we got probably all that we can out of this guy. There's nothing else we haven't
Are you
touched on. is
sure
there?
do? Tiny Paul gave Green cash. God was watching Green. Didn't send a letter. I think we're nearly done.
Yeah, I think we should leave. I think we've got all we got from him, or we can get from him. Sorry.
He's being real tight-lipped. I didn't have anything else to say to him, so he cracked his knuckles, arched over the table, and resumed lining up the shots.
He's cool. I liked him. You know, mob guy, but you know.
With a heart of gold.
Yeah.
I thought about heading back downstairs. Oh, I was debating where to go next. I think we should go back to the coffee shop and talk to him about Tiny Paul's involvement in all this.
Okay.
In fact, there you go. Now, what are you going to do to this taxi man?
Well, I think I'm just going to say he's got nothing to say, probably.
I started talking to the driver. He began speaking about his recent European vacation.
Do you want to do this one?
Yes.
Go for it.
Went to Normandy on a steam liner.
Ooh. Let's ask him about his trip.
I asked about the trip. Oh, the Olympics was grand. Excellent machine. Crossed the Atlantic in 5 days. Plenty of amenities in their new tourist cabins too. Doesn't matter about the grammar.
I'm more worried about the accent. Were they Scottish?
We'll never know. He's just a guy that just happened to travel to America one day.
Okay.
With an unknown origin.
Fair enough. So he seems very excited about the ship. Should I ask him about the ship? Go on then.
I asked about the ship. Swell that us working folks can get on them now. Pretty affordable. Only a few weeks off work. Then back here. Your stomach might take a beating if you aren't used to it. But I love that sea smell. He still had a grin on his face as we pulled to my destination. Ah, see, we made him happy.
That's nice. Okay, in we go. Frankie!
Frankie, we know he didn't write the letter, but we're not too sure on the barber, so you may have to question him about that letter. He didn't send a letter. Let's see what he says about that. Ah, I point something.
Frankie don't care. Let's give him all this evidence. So yeah, he gives Green the money. So he has anything to say about that? No.
No.
Oh no. I was hoping Frankie would be our go-to, but he's not being helpful at all, is he? Shit.
Okay,
Right.
let's go back to the barber, ask him about that letter, and see what he says.
Okay.
The Stables Barbershop.
Okay.
Oh,
Should we ignore the taxi driver this time?
that's right.
Yeah, it's getting a bit miscellaneous, isn't it?
I closed my eyes and leaned on the window until we arrived.
Okay.
Barber guy, do you know about this letter?
Here, buddy.
Spying in my direction. Oh.
Talk to me.
Wow, Mr. Oh,
Okay. Sorry. We've already done that. It's fine.
We're gonna show him the letter. We're gonna show him the letter.
I'll show him the letter. Where is the letter?
It should be at the top. Oh wait, is that? No, that's not it. Oh yeah, Green's letter. Green's letter.
There we go.
Let's see what he says about this letter. Oh, we got a lot of stuff. I pulled Green's note from my pocket and showed it to him, but didn't let him hold it. Green tells me this letter is from you, I told him. He doesn't like the threats. Stabled lowered his head to study the note, then chuckled. His knowing grin returned to his face.
But this is a Black Hand letter,
He said, flourishing a hand towards the paper.
Have you ever seen a Black Hand letter, Miss Malone?
I confessed I hadn't.
Exactly.
He said.
You should ring your friend Shipman at the station and ask what it means.
Oh,
We have a friend called Shipman?
there's a station?
What?
I knew talking to him about this would get something. Sam Shipman had been one of my uncle's regular partners in the vice rackets. I wondered what Shipman could have to do with Green's case. Stable seems to think he had a lot to do with it. I pocketed the letter and continued with my questions, but I made a note to stop by police headquarters and see Shipman.
Ooh, new place to go to. Well, Miss Malone,
He smiled.
will there be anything else? Have we got anything else to say to this dude?
Well,
Not sure.
wait, let's ask him about the billiards table. He mentioned he likes to gamble, so maybe he places bets on the billiards table in the tin spoon.
Okay.
Or maybe not. There we go.
It's not necessarily related to gambling.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
We must exhaust all the clues.
You're thinking outside the box. I like that. Let's see.
Well, I think that's it.
I think that's all we got, isn't it? Shit.
Kind of blatantly says, ask the other guy. It's a station that we don't know about.
Alright, let's go to the station then. I'm worried we missed something now then.
Nah, we've not missed anything.
See you later.
There he goes. Shave and the hair. Oh, snap! I always dreaded visiting the PD after I'd flown the coop, but I was in no mood right now. But if Shipman did know something about Green's note, I had to chase it up.
Nice. Okay. I love the atmosphere of this game, like the music and the weird art style. I was expecting it to be a bit more animated. I thought there'd be more movement and stuff. It's very minimalist, isn't it? Which is cool, because it's an indie game, I guess.
That's right.
Yes. Oh god, let's talk to this arsehole. Come in.
So,
You hear the latest about King Tut?
The driver asked.
Apparently, Carter found the sarcophagus a few weeks back.
Oh, let's talk about the discovery of King Tut.
I knew a guy whose like great granddad was the bloke who discovered it.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's a very well-to-do kid. He went to like a private school and stuff. So I think he's legitimately talking the truth. Yes. Yes.
We talked about the discovery. Carter had first unearthed the tomb a couple of years
The
ago.
guy's name was Ben Carter. There you go. That probably is true then. Fucking hell. Right, anyway, sorry, go on.
Carter had unearthed the tomb a couple of years earlier, and he had begun to slowly catalogue its contents. New treasures were constantly in the papers, notable for their intricate and expensive gold workings.
Oops, I think I skipped one back.
That is you.
Oh shit. That whole mess gives me the chills.
The driver said.
Digging up old corpses and taking their stuff. Like hell if that won't bring some curse or other on the grave diggers.
Do we believe in curses? Or don't we? I believe in curses.
Are we superstitious?
Yes, we're always superstitious.
Right, we're superstitious. Okay.
I agreed. Plundering of ancient tombs reminds me of pirates in the West Indies. Right now, what right do we have taking the wealth of another nation? The driver shook his head.
I wouldn't be the first in line to crack open that money. Won't end well for any of them.
He let out an involuntary shiver. We came to my destination and I left the taxi cab.
Okay.
The North Beach station was SFPD headquarters, also poetically baptized the Hall of Justice. The building dominated the corner of Kearny and Washington in Chinatown. Rebuilt after the 1906 earthquake, I thought it looked even more sour than it had before.
See all this Art Deco stuff going on. I love this era so much. I'm loving this game. I don't know if anyone else is enjoying this game as much as I am. Okay.
Oh, those noises. I strode to the young bobbed girl behind the large oak desk. She must have been new, because we shared no recognition of one another. I asked for Shipman, and she motioned me to a chair as she pressed a pearl button. I sat down and she disappeared through a frosted door. I rolled another cigarette to pass the time. Between puffs, I thought about...
Ooh.
I know what I want to fix.
Ziggy, you suck, right? No, come on, I want some backstory.
You and your backstories.
I want to know.
No.
I want to know.
Let's think about the present, the shape of my puff smokes. Between puffs, I thought about my history at the department. I imagined the station captain would have been furious if he had known I was there. I did, after all, break a tumbler with the help of another officer's temple.
Nice.
That had been my last day on the force.
Such a badass. Love it.
Oh, Matt, are you falling for Proto?
She's cool, hell yeah. She takes names and smashes people's faces with glasses.
Damn it, Matt. We could have been thinking about puff smokes. It wasn't long before Shipman walked out of the frosted doors. Oh, jeez. Samuel Shipman smiled when he saw me.
Okay.
None of these are insults. I'm disappointed.
Alright, should we get his physical description? Shall we? What do you think?
Let's say he had always been helpful.
Okay.
We don't care much for looks. He had always been helpful to me in my days on the force. Working closely with Lewis, he'd acquired the habit of bouncing theories my way. He judged officers purely on results, and because of that, he was one of my few fans. Aww. We exchanged brief pleasantries before he said,
Wouldn't come here for a glad handing.
He had a habit of removing the subject from his sentences.
What needs doing?
What does need doing? Oh, jeez.
Eyebrows.
Nightmare fuel. I explained my case to him. He scoffed when I mentioned Connor Green.
Working for that pinhead? Got a good mind to run him up a flagpole.
I just need to know about this letter. I handed him the note Green had given me and explained its context. After looking it over, Shipman tried to stifle a laugh.
Complete bunk,
he said. Oh.
See this symbol in the corner? Mark of the Black Hand Gang. Except, Black Hand letters are always ransom letters, not threats. No foothold on this coast anyhow. Never been one in California. So it's a forgery, it's a fake. It's a fake. Oh, conspiracy. I like it.
So the letters are fake? Shipman nodded.
Someone's trying to imitate the Black Hand.
I grunted with a sigh and noted what he'd said. Don't know. Oh.
Is that me or you? Oh, yeah. Don't know if Green is getting one over you.
He said.
Or if someone else is pulling Green's leg. but having more dirt on the man couldn't hurt. Especially if he's your client.
I agreed. I've been trying to dig through his past. You got any bug on him? Shipman shook his head.
No. From Oakland, it's all I know. But I can do some more digging.
I thanked him for that.
You're okay, Green.
Yeah.
No, Green. Who is this guy? I know he is. Whatever.
Oh, under a pile of ice though. Might take me a while. Oh,
It's me again.
Ah!
Oh, you're ill and I'm tired. This isn't working.
Working perfectly.
So professional.
Yeah.
Under a pile of ice, though. Might take me a while. Why don't I telephone when I find something?
I had no office where I could receive messages, but I dreaded returning to the station. I told him to call Southern Coffee. Just leave anything with Franklin Conway, I instructed. He said that was alright. We traded goodbyes and I went back to the station's entrance.
Alright, cool. We've been going for like an hour and 40 minutes. Should we do a little bit longer or?
A little bit longer.
A little bit, then we'll wrap
let's
it
see
up.
what let's see what mysteries or solved.
See if we can hit a twist or something. Okay.
Now I knew the letter was fake, and Shipman was looking into Green's past for me. I just needed to chase up the bootlegging lead. I stepped into the street and thought about where to go. Where to go for the bootlegging?
Who would know? We could go.
We could ask the guy again. The Tin Spoon Lounge guy, Tiny Tim.
I was thinking that because he was more willing to talk. The guy. No, actually, no. I meant the barber shop. I know the guy at the Tin Spoon Lounge didn't want to grass anyone up. He was quite tight-lipped. We can try though. We can try. Totally.
See, this game makes you think. Now, should we talk to this taxi man?
Yeah.
Long shift, I asked. Exhaled the driver. With as much gravel as a cement mixer.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, this is it.
Been on the road 6 hours. Probably pulling another 6 before I go back to the missus. Seems like I'll waste away in this taxi while the boss just overflows his coffers.
I kept him talking. Let's hear more of that gruff voice.
It hurts to do this.
Doesn't matter. I kept him talking and he complained about his life for a while. He ended with,
But it's the same shit for all working folks, innit? They tell us we've got a hope, and then the rich make the rules. And only the rich break them too. I've been reading Henry R. Carey. Fella talks a lot about this. Says America is ruled in a secret by rich men.
ooh,
And the wise leaders don't get to the top and encouraged to do so.
ooh.
I like this guy. He's not coming back, is he? I like this character already.
So what's your way out? He smiled.
Keep reading. Stay sharp. Become one of the rich men. The great thing about America, anyone can get there.
Well, do we agree with his statement?
I don't personally.
Well, let's disagree. Let's
Okay.
see what he says.
Capitalism, man.
I disagreed. I doubt those rich folks will let you into the aristocracy. Why not just overthrow them? He shook his head.
You don't get it. Poverty is permanent for the lazy. I'm a hard worker. I'll get out of this mess.
See, there you go. Like what Morgan Freeman said, I guess.
Anyhow,
Yeah, right.
we've arrived. You have a good one, miss.
I thanked him and left the taxi cab. See, Matt's favorite taxi driver.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember him forever. He was great.
Yeah. So let's go on
yeah.
in.
Yeah, we've done this, haven't we? Okay.
Straight up. Let's walk up my road.
What up, my dude? Alright, so
Yeah.
talk to this douchebag.
Let's talk to this dude.
Tiny Paul. So why do they call you Tiny Paul, Tiny Paul?
Discover Greens. Let's investigate the bootlegging. We've got to ask bootlegging related questions. So we need statements about bootleggings.
Okay.
All about the bootleggings. Like the, what is it? To go off it. Yeah, it has a new bootlegging scheme. Does he have that?
Did we already ask him about that? I feel like we've already asked him.
Darny Paul, just tell me more about the bootlegging scheme.
We need to discover Green's past. So we need to discover Green's past and investigate Green's bootlegging. Alright, so we're on the right track.
I feel the only person we can tell about the past is Mrs. Green, but
but she was shit-faced.
maybe she'll be all better this time.
We could go back and see if that's changed. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Let's ask him if he knows, if we say the backhand
Yeah.
letter is fake, see if he has anything to say about that. Okay.
You know, Green's note is a fake, I said.
So somebody's golfing Green?
He laughed heartily. What's that face?
Or maybe Green's just toying with you.
He blew chalk off the end of the pool cue and asked,
Anything else?
Oh, snap.
I like this guy. Oh, shit. He's not giving us much, though. I think that's all we've got. Shit.
Well,
we're not very good at this, are we?
Oh
We
my
look like the
God.
worst investigator. Hey, one thing, bye.
That's how all the great detectives do it. It's like, the Murder, She Wrote lady. Mrs. Potts.
Did we ask him about suspected Redstone? No, I didn't use that.
Oh.
And we did ask about the bootlegging scheme. Obviously, he's not going to give us too much about that. No, that meant that.
Suspects Redstone.
No, okay.
He's just totally confused.
We're confused.
Let's
Wandering
go
in
back to
saying one
Mrs.
thing.
Freed.
Wasting a lot of taxi bloody fares.
So
doing
we're
this.
talking to a lot of taxi fares. We found your spiritual taxi driver, your perfect Uber driver.
Alright, no. Fuck
Oh.
you, taxi man. Okay, this time.
Okay, let's see if we can get anything out of Mrs.
Okay, so
Freed.
stuff doesn't change over time. She's still shit-faced.
Let's talk to her. Oh, she
Absolutely
said,
nothing. No. So
how long are you gonna be in the opium?
we didn't miss any items, did we? No.
No.
There's nothing useful here.
There's only one other person we could ask about the bootlegging.
Oh, Mr. Stable Barbershop.
That's right.
Alright.
Questionable man.
See what he has to say.
Gotta ask everybody. Yeah.
Sorry, skipping. Bored of taxi man banter. I'm excited. I want to see what you have to say, Mr. Baldy Man.
Oh, he seems very pleased to see us.
Oh, we're asking about bootlegging, did you say?
Yeah, so we'll claim he has a new bootlegging scheme and see what he has to say about that. I asked about Stable again about doing shit, but he continues to deny any knowledge of that.
We've already asked him about it.
Okay, let's say that the note was fake and see what he says about that.
I don't think he's got anything to say.
Shipman tells me Green's letter is a forgery, I said to Stable. He grinned widely.
Yes, Miss Malone. That I told you. But I'm curious whether Mr. Green himself knows it.
Stable would still admit to no knowledge of the note. Ah!
Yeah, but
Where is Mr. Green? We need questions and answers.
is he back at our office? Can we talk to him now? I'm worried he's gone.
Ah.
Can we even go back to our office? We can't.
Nope. Looks like we'll go to Sovereign Coffee.
Yeah, so we go.
If you call, yeah. He said he'd call if we found something. So maybe
Oh,
this
yeah.
is where we need to
He might
go.
have some news for us. Right, we're talking to this guy. Go on.
He was young, not a teenager, but not far off. The redness in his face and a mean scowl told me he was angry. Don't much like taxi cabs, I offered. He looked quizzically at me over his shoulder before understanding what I meant.
No, lady. I like it right enough. Just some bozo for you. Who in here was giving me hell, because I look like the boy his daughter's going with. Went off about how my generation was ruining America.
Oh,
That scumbag don't know jack.
oh, it sounds like you know. It sounds like you know more, I asked.
I'm no genius,
You replied.
but you talk to anyone from the last century, they'll tear your ear off just being young. Well, for just being young. How'd they get so high, I wonder, given the world in the 1890s? Like a smooth running roadster. And what do? Bash it on every curb in sight.
Oh.
Their greed, their war, their politics. Now they give me a ruined clunker. And they're mad at our manners when we grab the keys.
Oh,
I agree. I totally agree.
oh, what are you agreeing with? In case the audience may not know what
okay.
this young jive turkey is talking about.
The generation fucked it up for us, and now we've got to pick up the pieces. The generation
Hey.
before us fucked it up, and then we pick up the pieces. Yeah.
So that's totally agree with what he's saying. We don't even know how old we are, but let's agree with this young upstart.
Okay.
I agreed with him. The Great War was the hardest fought, at home and abroad, I said. The old man who put us there had some nerve. He replied hotly,
after those years, they tell us to get in line. It's a bon deal to me, sister.
We're in the information age, and the news of the world is crap. They're just angry we can see. Oh, that's you.
That's me. That'll do.
The taxi cab rolled to a stop.
Anyhow,
The driver said.
thanks for letting me let up blow some steam. Have a nice day, miss.
Aw.
We're so charming. Taxi
I
drivers
opened the
love
car
us.
door and stepped out. Why can't British cabs be this charming?
Come on, Frankie.
Okay, let's see what we have.
You can do it, Frankie.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, you ever heard anything from Mr. Shipman?
Okay. And what? Any messages, Frankie? I asked him. This is you.
Are we? Are we? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Right, sorry, I was way down. I think I'd say, hey, what's eating you, kid? I was looking forward to saying that.
Aw.
What's eating you, kid? And what do you mean by that?
Well, I told Sam Shipman, an old contact on the force, to leave any dirt with you if he'd found it. Frankie laughed.
So now I'm your bartender and your secretary? Say, if I became your housemaid, will you at least pay me?
So I'm guessing you haven't heard anything, I said.
Nothing yet, Miss Chief. Miss
Frankie.
Chief. Miss Chief. Very good, I like you, Frankie. You're all right. Shipman's
Frankie,
supposed to call you about Green. What have you got so far?
No real breaks to speak of, I said.
Well, all right. I'll let you know if this Shipman gives me a call.
I thanked him.
What else you got?
He asked. Oh, let's see. Gotta find out more about this bootlegging.
All we got is the fake letter. That's all we've got to go on. I've never asked about already.
Oh, I pulled Grea's letter from my pocket, showed him.
Still not sure what to make of that note.
Frankie asked. Oh, let's see. In fact, I pulled the Green's letter from my pocket and showed it to him. Oh, yeah. In fact, I said, I do. It's bust. Green was giving me the runaround. This letter is a fake. Frankie gasped.
So why would Green hire you?
I gave my shoulders a shrug. I still need to solve that part.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can help with.
Oh, curiouser and curiouser.
I think we're out of evidence again.
No, we got more. We've got to find the secrets.
Yeah, but we've asked him. Frankie's kind of useless now. So we've asked him all the stuff.
Does he know about the bootlegging schemes?
I'm pretty sure we've already checked in with that. Yeah, we'll try.
I wanted to learn about how I could get
Apparently
more
we did.
dirt on Green's bootlegging. Frankie thought about it too. He offered.
Well, Green's working with Tiny Paul on his scheme. If I were to buy from a new source, I'd have to try it, get a taster.
Oh, I continued his thought. So there's likely a sample of green stuff laying around a tin spoon? That would make sense. Maybe I could ask Paul about whatever booze I find in there. Frankie nodded. I thanked him for the advice. Oh.
I'm not following this. So, is working with Tiny Paul on a scheme if I were to buy from a new source? I'd have to try it.
So remember how Paul was adamant about denying the bootlegging,
Oh.
and we wouldn't, and these guys like the bar is closed. We gotta get some of that alcohol.
So we can work out where it's coming from.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I follow. I get it.
Oh.
Getting on another level, man.
Detective.
Shit. Okay, back to the tiny spoon lunch.
Still probably should put if I could talk to him in such a place if I read up anyway. So here we go. We gotta find that evidence.
Screw you, taxi man. Bye.
But we had such wonderful talks with the taxi man.
We're on a mission. We know what we're doing now.
Bar's still closed, he says.
Whatever, dude.
Still not letting us taste the alcohol.
Shit. We're supposed to look at the booze, I think, actually. Hang on. Clicking on the wrong things. Ah.
Aha! A bottle of unlabeled wine sat on the table. When I sniffed, it smelt of strong spice.
That's not helpful. Or maybe we can ask him about that now. What's this?
A clean ashtray sat next to an empty glass on the table in the corner.
Bollocks. I didn't know we can look at the cues. We didn't
The
know
rest of the walls had held 5 cues.
Are we in the right place? This is the right dude you met, wasn't it?
Remember, we gotta try and get evidence of the alcohol. So we gotta ask. Let's see.
Wine bottle?
Yeah. There we go. That bottle on the table? I asked. He said.
That's the stuff. Oh wait, that's
Oh.
the stuff. A sample from Green Source.
Told you. I knew some Napa wine that smelled exactly like it, I said to him.
That's so.
He smiled.
Well, that one's from Vancouver.
Oh.
From Canada.
I had to work every muscle in my face to stop my jaw from hitting the floor. Where's the wine from, Paul? I asked him again.
It's from Vancouver.
he repeated.
What? Don't say that weird.
You sound so calm. So nonchalantly.
Looks like you just said that. It's from Vancouver. So where's it from? It's from Vancouver. Why are you asking me that again?
Oh no. Frankie.
I'm confused about. I don't think we were a very good
Tiny Paul.
PI. So, where's it from? Vancouver. Where's it from?
Where's it from? Vancouver? I told you this. Frankie told me that only Napa grapes had this type of spice. If Paul didn't know this bottle was local, I wasn't going to tell him.
Okay.
But it had told me something very important. I had to confirm with Frankie. But if my hunch was on the money, then Connor Green was not getting his wine from Canada. And he wasn't playing square with Tiny Paul. Oh, Frank. Oh, Connor Green.
Anything else?
Paul asked me. I snapped back into the moment and considered if I needed him to tell me anything else. Though I just snagged quite the load. Now we're done here.
Go ahead up, Frankie.
I didn't have anything else to say to him, so he cracked his knuckles, arched over the table, and resumed lining the shots.
Tut-tut, Tiny Paul, you fool! You have no idea.
We got you now, so we can probably tell you about them tickets. But we got to go back to the Sovereign Coffee. We got all the evidence, and hopefully no one will die.
I think this game won't let us kill people like these. We could have done that earlier. It's like, let's just give away the fact that Green is scared of the mob or trying to leave town, you know.
But he's trying to leave the mob. I exchanged forgettable banter with the driver until he asked,
"Hear the latest news about Harry Doherty? Harry Doherty!
Let's talk about Harry Doherty.
Talk about Harry Doherty.
I talked about Doherty. Seems Coolidge is ready to fire the poor. Oh, it's you.
You can do this one. Actually, go on. If you want.
Coolidge is about ready to fire the poor bastard. He continued. Who would have thought an attorney general would be their fall guy? Not shocked about the Ohio guy scandal themselves, I asked. He laughed heartily. Ha 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 ha. Sister, politics is all scandal. Presidential politics even more. You think Hardin would have been elected without some greased palms? Everyone gets rich who's in the know. We just gotta hope they fill their coffers while not kidding the rest of us. Should we agree with his philosophy? Politics is bad.
It's probably true, especially back then. Everything was corrupt back then, wasn't it?
But is everything not corrupt now?
That's true too. Everyone's
well, let's agree with this wise guy.
That's why I get mad at people getting mad at Hillary Clinton. It's like, she had business interests. Really? Anyway, no, not going there. That's controversial as well. I know she's not perfect, but anyway, carry on.
I agreed. Guess the cronies didn't quite expect Hardin to die so quickly. The driver nodded. Not enough time to cover up. Of course, the politicians themselves are just demagogues.
Demagogues.
The
old demagogues.
Demigorgons.
Oh, no, it's a demagorgon.
Really, you know, the Medusas. Demigorgons. The real leaders are the bosses. The wretched themselves by controlling their publics.
Stranger Things crossover, is it?
Exactly, they're demigorgons. Demigorgons, you know, they come from a different dimension.
They're always those demagorgons. God damn it.
We pulled up to my destination. Anyhow, the driver said, here we are. I thanked him and left the taxi cab.
Frankie.
Oh, we got the evidence, Frankie. If you're the secret criminal, I swear to goodness, I'm killing you.
It was me all along.
Oh, damn it!
Game over.
Bad end.
Damn it.
So now we got the evidence.
The wine bottle.
Thinks the wine is legitimate. Oh, you just had it.
Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, yeah.
Thinks the wine is legitimate.
There we go.
Well, you'll like this, I told him. Remember that wine you offered me?
Oh, Zinfandel, you're nearly finished.
Where did you say that grape was from?
It's from here, California. Napa or Sonoma.
You sure?
Yes, Malone.
That's the only place these grapes grow these days, nowadays.
Oh, someone's lying, and not Canada? I asked.
What are you swinging at, Malone?
Tiny Paul had a bottle of wine that tasted the exact same, that identical spice. He said it was from Green's bootlegging sauce, from Vancouver. Vancouver.
Malone, I'm telling you. No wine anywhere else in the world has that spice.
Oh.
It ain't from Vancouver, and Green ain't getting it cheap.
Oh, I nodded. Well, you just confirmed my hunch. Green's got no source. He must be swindling Tiny Paul and the entire fairy gang. And I bet he'll run away with the money. Frankie now, a long whistle in disbelief. Where's your long whistle, Matt?
What?
Where's your long whistle?
Oh shit.
There. Matt, no, that's not the right whistle.
What sort of whistle? How do you whistle? How do you whistle in disbelief? Whistle. Do the disbelief whistle for me, Ziggy.
That'll do.
It's very long as well.
You know, the kettle was on. He was about to whistle and the kettle was on, you know?
I'm pretty sure if you were like, you'd be like, oh, shit, you know. That's not just hey ladies.
Hello.
Hello ladies.
You've just found a sexy clue, Malone.
My lady, let me wheel out my disbelief whistle. You know, it's like criticising my whistle acting. How dare you, Ziggy? How dare you, sir?
Just there, the phone rang. Frankie picked up the phone, picked up with a. Here, oh.
What?
Sorry, picked up a phone.
Me? What? Hello? Right.
That had to be the receiver saying,
Shipman.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
Oh. PC. Oh,
it's me. What voice did I give him? Shit. Okay, whatever. PC.
He said, his excited voice crackling the speaker. Find anything on Green? I asked.
Nothing.
He said. I was puzzled. Then why'd you call?
That's the idea. First got pinched for a brawl in the ferry building. That was in November 1920. Before that, no Connor Green anywhere around the bay. Oh, he doesn't exist.
Oh, strange. He continued.
Has trouble staying out of a mess, mixed up in something nearly every week. So only appearing a few years ago. That Oakland backstory is Swiss cheese.
Oh, snap.
Cheese.
Oh, he's giving us a nod. What were you thinking? Green's got a different past, I asked. He said.
Guess that he just got here in 1920 and never been straight about where he's from.
Wait, I said. If Connor Green was a criminal in another town, easily some cop would recognize him and send him back home. SFPD isn't that thick.
Right.
Shipman agreed.
If it's the same name, could be his real identity disappeared in another town.
Ooh. I thought aloud. So he might have changed lives. Is there any way to confirm that?
If Green fled, the local bulls would keep looking for him. But not if they thought he died. Get these cases sometimes where mobsters fake a death to escape a burg.
Ooh.
Use a mangled stiff to do it. Someone unrecognizable. That way, they get out of town without a chase. Makes sense. Alright, so he faked his death. Cool.
Got any mobster deaths in 1920? I asked.
A ton. Too many to look through. But, narrow the search for me. A town he might be from. I could check a specific city's archive.
Anything in your notes that tell us where he could be from?
Ooh, right. What we got? Oh, the train tickets. The fucking train tickets. Oh, we're on this shit.
It.
We're on it, mate. We're on it, right.
Tickets to St. Louis.
St. Louis, baby. There we go.
I found these tickets to St. Louis in Green's apartment, I told him. The missus was ruffled when I picked them up. I stayed on the phone while Shipman used another line to call his contact at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I was nursing a glass of gin when he got back to me.
Lucky break, PC.
Oh.
Seems there's one that fits the bill.
He read aloud an article from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, dated October 8, 1920.
Gun battle at June's Diner. Gangster dead.
Oh.
Suspected bandit clubhouse scene at another shooting. A heated argument turned deadly Thursday as multiple shots rang inside the June's Diner on 14th Street. Suspected hideout of Egan's Rats. A man was found dead at the scene, unidentified due to shotgun wounds to the face. Shit. Okay. Police suspect he's a mobster, Breg the Jester, who had hired a private eye to investigate threats on his behalf. Okay. Last month, Chief of Police Brannon said investigating gangsters on gangster deaths was a waste of time. And the discovery of the threats led many to believe police won't look further into the case. So there you go.
Hold on, I said. This bread character has hired a private detective?
Seems police are quick to forget a case. If they got a reason to think it's just gangster violence.
This lines up with Green, I said.
Gets better. Bregg's first name? Connor.
Oh, I cursed loudly through the telephone.
Shit.
Curse!
Cuss! Swear word!
Bad words. I continue with my theory. And your story says this Bregg was deeply adept. Maybe Green's just waiting in San Francisco until he's got enough dough to skip town and go home. Oh,
We have some bootlegging business.
Shipman asked.
Why would we leave that behind?
No, I shook my head. His wine is completely bunk. It's local stuff, not any Canadian route he might be claiming. I didn't know why he'd pull a fast one until now.
What's that mean? Right. Returning Bregg to St. Louis could be huge. Swing by the station and we'll iron it all out.
I agreed and slammed the receiver on its pegs.
Nice. We're on this.
We've solved the mystery.
Okay.
Seems I need to make my way back to the station.
I feel like keeping going with this now.
No.
Have you got much to do later? You don't?
Nah.
Alright, we'll do a bit more. I have to pee though.
Oh no, we can't pause it.
We can though. What we can do is steamed hams break. There we go.
Please bear with us.
Please, during these technical difficulties.
Go, you guys! Ruined it. I disguise fast food as my own cooking.
Why is there smoke coming out of your oven?
Oh, that's steam from the clams we're having. I hope you're ready for hamburgers.
I thought we were having clams.
No, I said steamed hams. It's a regional dialect.
What region?
Upstate New York, it's an Albany expression.
These hamburgers are quite similar to Krusty Burger.
Oh no, patented Skinner burgers.
You call them steamed hams, despite the fact they are grilled.
Excuse me for 1 second. Oh, well, that was wonderful. Good time was had by all. I'm pooped.
What is happening in there?
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
That's it?
No. It's just the Northern Lights.
Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say, you steam a good ham.
Oh. Perfect.
Back in time for the dud. Oh, Ziggy, you're so unwell, man. Oh, I hope everyone appreciates Zig turning up. My dude is very snotty.
I'm sure he means that in the complimentary way.
How could that be a compliment, Ziggy?
I love it when you're full of snot. It's the best. I love it. You're full of disease. It's lovely.
I can feel myself getting ill already.
I'm trying my best to distance.
I hope people appreciate my sacrifice as well. I'm going to feel like shit for the next week because Ziggy's come round and infected me.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, though.
Is it fine? Is
yes.
it? Who knows, man?
As long as we have this done and the steamed hams, we'll be fine.
I haven't watched this for ages.
It's just
Yay, there it is. Oh god.
Why is it just
Okay, that's enough. Alright, we'll do a bit more. Then we'll wrap it up.
Oh dear
There we go.
goodness.
There we go. See, look at this, man. Professional streaming shit, man. I can go between the desktop to the game to the desktop.
Oh,
Fucking yeah, man.
living the dream.
Production fucking values, mate. Okay, what happened? Shit.
We gotta get back to the station.
Station. Yes.
Police
Gotta
station.
go talk to my dude who's dug up some dirt on
That's right.
old what's his name? Mr. Green.
So what's this is
Oh, it's
you.
me. So what's the news on Green?
Frankie asked as I was heading up the stairs. Now it seemed like all I had to do was... Well, it seemed like I had all the details. I summarized it for him. So the total wrap. Green isn't really green at all. He's Breg, the Jester, a former member of Egan's Rats from St. Louis.
He's Bragg?
Frankie was shocked.
But he's been here a while, Malone.
Sure, I said, but only since 1920. He couldn't pay off his debts in Missouri, so he faked his death and moved to San Francisco. He's been longing to go back, but he needs a way to settle his score before he can show his face again.
Why is he screwing over the mob then? That seems really risky if you've already faked your death once.
He needs the money from the mob to pay off the other mob, and hopefully he won't get caught by the previous mob. And
he might be that much of a stupid dickhead, I guess. Like, is that where his bootlegging comes in?
Frankie asked. Uh-huh. Green had set up a sham run-rubbing scheme. He bought local wine, but claimed to get it at low prices from Canada. He convinced Tiny Pool to front him a heap of cash for it.
I'm feeling the jazz right now. That's one of my favourite bits about Roger Rabbit as well. Roger Rabbit. The soundtrack for that film.
You just born a different time, Matt.
I know, right? I should have been back then, man.
But then we wouldn't have met, Matt.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Maybe we were just in a segregated...
just in passing.
Somewhere or something, I don't know.
Like, hey, how's it going?
Something. Future Zig is awesome. We'll meet someday. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we talking about? Talking total nonsense.
Yeah. Dear.
Is that me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Is that where his bootlegging comes in?
Oh, this is what we've already read.
Oh, we did that. Yeah.
So instead of let's see.
I think that's you.
Is it me? Instead of providing the wine, he's planned to skip town with Paul's money, disappearing to St. Louis with enough dough to pay back his debts. See, told you. This is you.
Yeah, I'm getting confused now. Shit, we lost our rhythm with this. We got on this.
You.
Shit, right. He already faked his death once, so do it again here.
Frankie asked. That's right. His plan is similar to his last one. Hire a detective claiming he's scared for his life, fake his death, and then know the police won't bother him with underground violence. Frankie looked at me with a blank stare.
Seems like all the pieces fit. So he just hired you as cover?
I sighed. Seems like it.
Don't worry about that.
Frankie started saying, but I cut him off. I'm going to see Shipman now. I'll sweep away this mess, then come back and see you. Have a stiff drink ready, I instructed.
Just be careful, Malone. Egan's rats have a reputation. They can be ruthless.
I turned and walked up the stairs.
Yeah, this is all far too nice and cut and dry, isn't it? Something's going to go wrong, or I don't know, we're going to get there, the policeman's been done or something.
There was only one place to go, but the policeman was the betrayer all along.
Oh my god, that would make sense as well. Like, we'll get there and they'll be like, yeah, get in this car, love, and they'll smuggle us to the mob or something. Yeah.
I slipped into the taxi cab and was consumed with my own thoughts about the case. I'd finally caught a break, but it was a dud. I hadn't realised it, but I'd been revelling in real detective work. Once I'd learned it was all bunk, my mind reverted to its incessant nagging. So, should we wonder? Do we know? Or do we wallow?
Do we want to recite the facts, or do we want to know what she thinks might be happening, or do we just want to know?
Let's wallow.
No, we need all the help we can get, Ziggy. We really do. We're bad at this.
You know, we could play some Linkin Park, crawling in my skin and wallow.
I'm ignoring everything you're saying now.
Oh, man.
Your decision is bunk.
No.
Okay. So I wanted to restate the facts. So, go on.
I stepped into the taxi cab and was
Sorry, it's the bomb bit.
I knew that a woman could be a good investigator, but I questioned why I thought that was me. I was hardly helping anyone.
Oh, okay, so it's not plot helping. This is just her.
It all came back to the same basic premise. You're failing, my inner voice said. Screw you, inner voice. I'm succeeding.
We have bad self-esteem. Okay.
I began to feel nauseous in the car. My mind repeated to its last thought. You are failing. Oh, we're blacking out. We're blacking out, man. What's going on?
And then we died. Oh wait, everything we really did.
Haha. Oh, and then everything turned to black, as if someone had shut all the lights.
What's going on? Okay. What's going on?
My naked arms then faded to view. They emitted a soft white glow.
Should we wave our arms, I guess?
Let's rub our eyes. Let's see what's going on. We need a clearer sight. I rubbed my eyes, willing to focus, but without success. Between my fingers, it appeared in the distance. I could hardly see. But as the object billowed, a clarity came to me. Then I understood what it was. Opium! Of the highest. Lewis's grey coat. Mrs. Green! I floated towards it.
Are we hallucinating? Are we passing out? What's going on?
Maybe I reached to grab the coat. Which was when I saw the needles. What?
Okay.
No, not needles. Glass. Shards falling all around me. One piece wedged itself in my right elbow. I grimaced, but I was unable to make any noise or movements. But then, as suddenly as the rain had started, it stopped. I looked upwards with caution, wary of the rain to return, but above me, I saw the grey coat. It was no longer billowing, it was rigid, a shield against the terrible rain.
Okay.
Do you think we died? It
Yes.
started falling, slowly at first, but quickly it gained speed. It came upon me and enveloped me quickly. Yep. It was suffocating. I couldn't breathe. I let out a gasp. And then the light. It pierced my eye sockets, hitting the back of my skull like a hammer on an anvil. I directed all my energy into my lungs and forced out a yell. That helped. Everything became quiet. I could breathe deeply. I noticed someone beside me. He gradually came into focus.
It's a taxi driver, like, what the fuck are you doing, love? Screaming in my taxi.
Shipman, oh, Vision, we did
Oh,
it!
shit. No, I'm
Shipman
worried.
showed his teeth in a big smile.
This is bad news. I think Shipman's corrupt.
I looked up at him from my laying position on the Murphy bed. He swung his leg over the chair and sat beside me. Thought you'd never come around, he said.
That's me.
Oh, sorry.
Damn you!
Ah, stud face!
He's with the mob, man. We fucked up. We have fucked up.
Oh, probably Mrs. Green that sent someone.
Okay. What do you want?
What happened? I tried to ask him something, but another bolt of pain raced up my elbow. All I managed was a groan. Ah!
Relax, PC. Just a few scratches. Quite the auto crash. Oh shit. Okay. Flew straight through the front window.
Oh.
We took out a large piece of glass from your right arm.
Oh.
This is very convenient.
Oh.
God. Okay.
I remember none of that. I mumbled the words, "Oh no, crash," to myself. I wondered how bad the accident must have been. Shipman removed the flask from his pocket, unscrewed the top, and handed it to me.
Not the best hooch, but might get rid of the banging in your head.
I shook my head off.
I don't think we're going to take anything from this guy. We can't trust him right now.
I shook my head, which was slowly clearing. Oh, I felt whiskey would only make it worse. My thoughts were coming back on their own. I went to give the flask back to Shipman, but he had put out a hand to stop me.
Hang on to it. Might change your mind after what I'm about to tell you.
Oh. I propped myself up on the left shoulder to listen.
About Green's case. The two of us figured he was going to fake his own death.
Shipman clipped his tongue to his teeth and looked towards the floor.
That ain't happening.
Oh.
Last night, Connor Green was shot through the heart twice.
Oh, shit.
Damn it!
What? I shouted. What? I shouted. The exclamation was impulsive. I swung my legs quickly around and sat on the edge of the bed. My headache had suddenly vanished. See?
Whoa there.
The Shipman said.
Look, been here with you all night.
He added, quickly.
In that chair beside the bed. Just telephoned the station to check in, and that's the rap they gave me. Told them what I'd known from you, and they said they'd chase it up.
Oh. How do you know it was him? Another involuntary question. I was running on instinct.
PC, faking your death involves a mangled body. Shot through the chest, his face is still intact. Whatever Green was planning on doing, he didn't get that far.
Oh.
And we looked it up. He doesn't have a twin. That'll be too easy.
Shipman grinned.
Green hired you for this case.
He continued.
Gives you every right to follow it up if you want. That said, he was likely taking you for a ride. I wouldn't blame you if you want to drop it. But I'd like your help, PC. We know the case. Could use your head, even if it's been a little bumped. Once you're feeling better, I'll be at the station. Come find me there.
Oh. Shipman stood up and cracked his back.
Maybe I'll catch some shut-eye on top of my desk, too. Sure beats that chair you got.
He turned and walked out.
I don't trust you anymore, Shipman. You're
Shit.
the only one who knew we were going to the station. That's a bit weird.
Oh, I stood up from the creaking bed and surveyed the cluttered apartment.
Very good. You got anything new here? What's the cat doing?
Yes, maybe we can click on the cat.
No, we can't.
Yeah, you can do it there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're right.
The cat slept at the foot of the bed. I scratched behind his ear and he seemed to like that.
Oh.
See if we bought anything from the fridge. The apartment was already cramped when the Murphy bed was up. With it down, I could barely squeeze through the living room.
What did you want to look at? Sorry.
The fridge. Let's see what we got in that ice box.
Oh yeah.
The regular high-five box, tinged with yellow with age, half blocked the kitchen doorway. My income rarely kept it stocked in it, and right now it was empty.
Still got that sod all. Okay.
Boo! Stock up your fridge. Okay, let's look at them files of murder cases.
Okay.
Okay, oh, it's still the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything new here.
Oh, let's go outside, even though you were supposed to recover. I stared at the doorway and took a deep breath. I suppose I owed Shipman enough to help me solve the case, even if Green had given me the runaround. After all, what type of detective would leave a case half solved? There was only one place to go.
Oh, this again.
Oh, his life had been using me. His life had apparently been in danger all along. I resolved to find his killer. I headed to the North Beach station for any information Shipman could give me before starting the chase. Hopefully we won't crash again. I fly the taxi cab and was on my way. I thought about chatting with the driver to pass the time.
Yeah, go on then. Let's do it.
Want to do this one? Okay. Alright. I went to the Palace of Fine
The
Arts.
driver said when I asked about his weekend.
They were holding a guest gallery. My girl's a big Georgia O'Keeffe fan. Myself, I don't get all this new stuff. What's so hard about painting on some wavy lines?
Oh. For the rest of the trip, we spoke about the other artwork that had been on display. Pieces from Charles Sheeler, Louis Lozowick, Edward Steichen, and many more. I was sad to have missed it. But when we stopped at my destination, I left my envy in the taxicab and refocused on the case at the hand.
Nice.
Okay.
Here we go, back at the cop station. Okay, the headquarters building.
Yeah, you read that bit. Yeah.
I stepped out of the taxi cab and walked in through the station doors, ready to chase any leads on Green. But standing in front of me as I entered, bawling her eyes from their sockets, was Mrs. Green.
No.
She saw me and brought her wailing closer.
Oh dear. She's gonna punch us in the face or something.
Nah.
Blame us. Was this me or you?
Yes, you.
Okay. Malone!
She exhaled through her sobbing.
You're working for my husband. What happened?
Her breathing obscured her next sentences, but I got the general idea.
Don't know what that means.
I told her I knew as little about the matter as she did, but that I was looking into it, and I was sure that officers were doing their best. She begged me to help them, again drowning most of her sentences with her sobbing. I promised I would try. She took a slow inhale, raised her chest, and walked out the station. Okay. Well. When she was out of sight, Fred Grant came around the corner and let out a snort. Grant was another investigator for the SFPD.
What do you fancy?
I studied his ruddy face.
Okay.
I studied his ruddy face, strewn with broken capillaries that it gave the impression of a map of streams. A cigar often poked through his mouth, hardening his jaw and twisting his face into a scowl. He had a buzz-cut hairstyle and he kept talking about Spider-Man a lot. Okay, I suppose this was an appropriate look for a man who enjoyed his bribes in liquid form. Grant had never been a supporter of policewomen, and he was no fan of mine.
I was confused. I thought I was misreading it. I was like, what? Spider-Man? Okay.
Oh, he wants those pictures of Spider-Man. He lighted the cigar and said, "Here you go, you're gonna have to be one of those types of gentlemen."
Just a gruff, shitty old man. Okay.
Yes.
The widow seems pretty torn up about him. You really helping her out?
Now we get to choose. It wasn't his place to know. Let's leave him in the dark. Screw this guy. It wasn't his place to know, so I just stared at him.
Well, alright. If you ain't gonna talk, then I should be on my way.
Yeah.
Least thing I gotta do is head to the tin spoon and toss this in the freezer.
That meant he was about to close the case cold. He smiled as though he was glad to do it. I raised a questioning brow. "You aren't chasing this up?" I asked. He looked appalled that I would even ask.
We got more to do with than some dead gangster.
Oh.
The captain don't care about crap like this, so long as it's not spreading too far.
And what about the girl?
What'd she expect?
He asked.
This broad goes and marries an Irishman. Blah. Probably killed one of his own.
Killed by one of his own.
Or some dago. All those bums run together.
Oh, nice and racist there. Lovely.
I knew you'd have fun with this guy.
Yeah.
I gave him a frown, to which he responded.
Look, if the missus wants...
I keep making him Cockney.
Yeah, he does seem the sort.
If the missus wants on this, that's her gamble. But it ain't gonna lead you nowhere. And don't expect support from the boys.
Not even if I find Green's killer? He laughed.
You get a confession and we'll cop him. Not something the DA can thumb his nose at either. They gotta admit three things.
Oh, here we go.
The means, how they killed Green. The opportunity, when they did it. Motivation, why'd they bother? You do that, then sure, we'll be right behind you. But there ain't nobody here looking into it, I promise.
He pulled on a cap and walked out.
Fair enough.
He's the killer.
We got him.
Nailed it.
Okay. I think we should end it there. We've been going for a
I
while.
think we should.
We've hit some
Yes.
twists.
Mystery.
We got to the twist.
That's right.
So that's kind of cool. I'm quite engaged by this. Again, it's probably because of voice acting and being dibs. It's a cool game.
Yes, it is.
It's cool. It's not quite what I expected.
Oh, but was it better than what you
Yeah,
expected?
in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I really liked the idea of LA Noire. Did you ever play that?
Oh, I've not played it, but I've heard many good things.
Yeah, it's cool. It looks great, but the gameplay is quite unforgiving.
Oh, no.
And it's like if you fuck up a clue or you don't ask the right thing, you could miss out on half of the mission almost.
Yeah.
And also, like, its choices are vague. Like it says, you can agree with the person you're interrogating, you can call them a liar, or you can cast doubt.
Oh.
And doubt is really vague. And sometimes, like, do I doubt or tell them lying? It's not always clear which you're meant to do.
Oh.
Whereas with this, it is just like show them the clue. There's no pressure in that if you show them a bad clue, they're going to be like, "Oh, I'm not talking to you anymore." Which is like what they would do in LA Noire. Like they always give you a chance to show them a different clue in this. So I prefer this a lot more. It's a lot less harsh.
Yay.
Yeah, it's cool. Really enjoying it. What do you think, man?
I think it's a great game. The story's engaging, the characters are great, and the taxi people, well, they each got their own quirks. At least we found one of your favourite taxi peoples.
Oh, I miss that guy. Good old pro-capitalism man. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, interesting game. Alright, that's cool. God, if you sat through this, thank you. Thank you. But I
You
expect
deserve a treat.
people are probably dipping in and out of it, though, I suspect.
Oh, no.
No, that's cool too. You know, these are long videos now. Not everyone can give us 2.5 hours of their time. So
Well,
nothing
for
wrong with
those that did, we thank you.
Yeah, you're incredible. You're the best. You're the best. We should be back on Tuesday
That's right.
with Little Witch Academia. And are we going to do it on a Geary stream Wednesday as well?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Gotta get that onigiri.
God, fair enough. Yeah, we'll do that as well. And then maybe back on Sunday with whatever. Maybe this again.
We do like to solve this case.
It's cool. I want to see where this is going, definitely. Or if I manage to actually get off my arse and do it and get past that bit on getting over it, we'll play that again. And it does depend.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Alright, we'll wrap it up there then. Cheers, everybody! Have a good weekend.
Have a
What's left?
fantastic weekend.
Yes, please do.